This is Retro Sports Radio. Visit RetroSeasons.com for more sports history.
On October 16, 1976, the New York Yankees faced the Cincinnati Reds at Riverfront Stadium for Game 1 of the 1976 World Series. This is the CBS radio broadcast of Game 1, featuring announcers Bill White and Win Elliott.
The Reds are baseball's defending champions. Mickey Rivers takes the first pitch up too high. Mickey batted .312 for the Yankees on the year. 8 home runs, drove in 67 runs, batting leadoff. He also stole 43 bases. The next pitch is low. 2 balls, no strikes. The umpires, by the way, Lee Wire of the National League is behind the plate. Louis DeMuro of the American League at first base. Billy Williams umpiring at second. He's a National League umpire. And Bill Deegan of the American League at third. Bruce Swarming in left, and Dave Phillips in right. There's a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike on Rivers. It'll be Mickey Rivers, Roy White, and Thurm Munson against Don Gullett here in the top half of the first inning. Here's a wind by the left-hander, and the 2-1 pitch. Pop foul, straight back and out of play. And it's 2 balls, 2 strikes on Rivers.
Rivers had a fantastic last game against Kansas City, as you know, Bill. The first 4 times he was up there completely upset him. He fascinates me.
Well, when he gets on base, things happen. As when Pete Rose gets on base for the Cincinnati Reds, things begin to happen. The count now on Rivers, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mickey is from Miami, Florida, still lives there. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fastball, slice foul, left side and out of play. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Bill, everything Mickey does is herky-jerky. He seems to be pulled together by wires, and yet when he puts it all together, it's a fluid river there.
Yes. They play him to hit to the opposite field. With Foster over there the line and left. Here's the 2-2. Swung on and missed. Rivers goes down swinging on a high fastball, and there's 1 away. So Don Gullett coming out with heat, and Rivers goes down swinging.
That's one way to keep him from stealing.
Don't let him get on the base.
That ball seemed to be a little on the high side, and maybe Mickey was a little anxious.
Well, when Mickey is a high ball hitter, most left-handed hitters are low ball hitters, but Mickey chops the high ball and drives it. The low pitch, he slaps it the other way on the ground. So there's 1 out, nobody on. Here's Roy White, a switch hitter. He's in right-handed against Gullett. And the first pitch, too high, a fastball. White hit .286 on the year for the Yankees, hit 14 home runs, and drove in 65 runs. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Fastball is high again. 2 balls, no strikes. We're at the top of the first here at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio, the opening game of the 1976 World Series. There's 1 out, nobody on for the Yankees. The outfield straightens up. They play White straight away. Stealing on deck is Thurm Munson. Here's the 2-0 to White. Fastball pops up right side. It's foul territory after this Perez pitch. They'll run out of room about 2 rows back behind the Cincinnati Red dugout on the first base side. Oh, they count on White now, 2 balls and a strike.
Roy is the remnant from the previous great Yankee days. He came just as the magic seemed to disappear back in the late 60s. But he's always impressed me as being Mr. Cool. Right or left, nothing seems to bother him. I don't know what goes on inside. But outside, he is always in command, and he has certainly been one of the solid Yankees through the years.
He came up as an infielder, played second base, moved him to left field, and he's done an excellent job. He's a senior Yankee in point of service. And the count is 2 balls and a strike on White. Gullett now looking at it bench for sign, gets it, and the pitch. Fastball bounced past third, off the glove of Rose. Picked up by Concepcion, the throw is inside. Cincinnati Reds come up with a spark where Rose to his left. The ball came off his glove. Concepcion was behind him, picked up the ball and got it to first base, and they just dipped White.
Beautiful reaction by Concepcion because he was actually leaning towards second base. I don't know why. And then when he saw the cam, you know how difficult it is to change directions with your body on an instant. He did it, and with no hesitation on the throw.
So the put out 5-6-3 off the glove of the third baseman, Pete Rose. Concepcion picked it up and showed a fine arm. So there are 2 outs now. Nobody on for Thurm Munson, the Yankee catcher. Munson batted .302 on the year. Hit 17 home runs, drove in 105 runs. Second year in a row, Munson drove in 100 runs for the Yankees. And he takes the strike.
Bill, that's a load of quality right there around home plate right now.
Oh, Thurm Munson and Johnny Bench, 2 of the best catchers in baseball. fact, they might be the best in baseball. The next pitch is down in the dirt, blocked nicely by Bench. It's a ball and a strike. Terms from Akron, Ohio. A Buckeye. About midway up the state between here and Cleveland. 2 outs, nobody on top. Half the first, no score yet. And the 1-1 pitch to Munson. Fastball on it. Ball dipped down and away. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
As the first batter that Gullett didn't get behind on immediately. Then, of course, he recovered with each of them, but he looks fast.
Yes, he does. Of course, the Yankees know that he has a good fastball. It's a moving fastball. Here's a 1-2 to Munson. Just missed outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Reds set up around the infield with Rose at third, Concepcion, the shortstop, Morgan at second, and Perez at first. The outfield, George Foster in left, Cesar Geronimo in center, and Ken Griffey out in right. Johnny Bench flashing signs for Gullett. And the 2-2 pitch. Low, 3 balls, 2 strikes. The count is full. On deck for the Yankees is Lou Piniella, their designated hitter. Gullett now on the front side of the mound, gets that ball, rubs it up a bit. Goes back, he'll go to the rosin bag. Bench backs up at third. Check that, Rose backs up at third. Pete Rose has been playing in close. Here's the 3-2. Fastball swung on a miss. Munson got a piece of it. It was held by Johnny Bench. So Don Gullett strikes out 2 of the 3 men he faces here in the top of the first, and that's the end of 1/2 inning of play. The Yankees nothing, the Cincinnati Reds coming up.
Here comes the Pace Citizens Band.
Join the Pace Radio Citizens Band.
It's the greatest band in the land.
It's the greatest band in the land.
Cause in that Pace band,
Cause in the Pace Radio Citizens Band,
you got the world by the ear.
you got the world by the ear. We're the Pace Radio Citizens Band. You can hear this band all over this land. From the truck stop down to the hamburger stand, you got the world by the ear.
Don't join up with just any Citizens Band. Get state-of-the-art CV design from Pace, a pioneer in solid-state CV. When you've got a Pace TV radio, you've got the world by the ears.
Radio Citizens Band, you got the world by the ear.
Buy a 23-channel Pace before December 31st, and you can have it updated to a 40-channel. Ask your dealer.
Cincinnati Red Rooter, I would be encouraged by the way Don Gullett's ball is moving. He had plenty of speed. It was dipping down. The Yankees seemed a little anxious. If I were a New York Yankee Rooter, I'd be encouraged, too. Because after all, it's a miracle of the 9th inning, which is much like the Bobby Thompson inning of the New York Giants of a few years ago. And the airplane ride and the awakening of the fact that they've got some blood and mostly champagne. You could expect them to be a little on edge, but you take heart, you Yankee rooters. I've said nice things about the Reds. I remember the miracle Mets after they went through that exhausting final game. Monty Irvin, for instance, I was with him till 7, 8 o'clock in the dressing room. I was so tired I didn't even go to the opening game. I couldn't. I went home. That son of a gun stole home in that game. They still had enough left, of whatever it is. So this game has just begun, and the excitement, my friends, is on the way. Bill, the Reds are back.
Yes, they are, Win, and here's Mr. Excitement, Pete Rose, their third baseman. Rose can play anywhere. Wouldn't surprise me if they put a mitt on him, gave him a mask, and put him behind the plate. Switch hitter batting left-handed against Joel Alexander here in the bottom half of the first inning, a scoreless ball game so far. And the first pitch is outside. It's a ball. Win, one of the reasons Billy Martin chose Joel Alexander to start this ball game, he throws a lot of off-speed pitches. The next pitch, the fastball, it's a called strike. It's 1-1. And Martin feels that the changeup and the curveballs would be the kind of pitches that would give the fastball-hitting Reds the most trouble. Here's Alexander's 1-1 pitch, and it's outside. 2 balls and a strike.
When Doyle is good, he is very, very good. As you know, Bill, he's had a couple of games where he held the team's hitless for maybe 3/4 of the game, 7, 8 innings.
2-1 pitch to Rhodes. This is outside, 3 balls and a strike. He pitched about 5 games in a row where he went into the 5th and 6th innings without giving up a base hit. He can be tough. Here's a 3-1 to Pete Rhodes. Swung on, hit in the air, left center. 20. Moving to his left. The left fielder's there. comes in a couple of steps, then he backs off and lets the center fielder Rivers makes the catch. And there's one away. So White over there. It looks like the Yankee outfielders are having a little bit of trouble seeing that ball, Win.
I don't know. I went down there and looked up, and of course at that time it was a completely overcast sky, but I notice it's clearing up now. The overcast is on right field, and center and left field it's a patch of blue, so the conditions seemingly have changed. In fact, we have much more sunlight than we did.
Here's Ken Griffey, the right fielder. Left-handed batter. He takes the strike. Ken Griffey from Donora, Pennsylvania, batted .336 on the year for the Reds. Hit 6 home runs, drove in 74 runs. Yankees playing more or less straight away. As a one-strike pitch comes on. Bunted, foul, straight back. Griffey trying to bunt his way on. No balls, 2 strikes.
I'm sorry, Bill. I was going to say I had a question in my own mind that with Alexander not having pitched for 3 weeks and the weather a little on the cold side today, that at least in the opening inning he might have trouble with control. So far, no.
So I don't think so. You know, Doyle pitched that way after the Yankees acquired him from the Baltimore Orioles. A lot of times he would have to miss a turn because you've got to send Hunter out there all the time. You've got to send Holtzman out there. You've got to send Ellis. So every once in a while, Alexander would miss a turn. It would not affect his control. Here's the 0-2 to Griffey. Get in the air, left field. White coming on. He's there, and he puts it away for out number 2. The ball hit hard by Griffey, but right to Roy White. So there are 2 outs and nobody on here in the bottom of the first. A scoreless ball game, and the batter is Joe Morgan. Morgan batted .320 this year for the Reds. Hit 27 home runs and drove in 111 runs. In addition to that, he stole 60 bases and he missed 22 games. From Bonham, Texas, left-handed batter. First pitch to him is a strike.
He's the littlest intimidator I ever saw.
He might be the most complete baseball player in baseball today. The 1-strike pitch is low. It's 1-1.
Likes to have fun, too. You remember, Bill, we were talking about when he found Bench was batting 7th today. He said, I wouldn't play. They put me there.
Little Neal at Bench. The next pitch is low. 2 balls, 1 strike on Joe Morgan. Yankee outfield plays in the full, so does the infield. They've got Stanley, shortstop, almost behind second. They give Morgan a lot of the left field line. As the 2-1 pitch comes on, fastball is inside, 3 balls and a strike.
And the Cincinnati crowd warms to the possibility of seeing Mr. Scamper down there on first base. You can just feel it.
3-1 pitch. Swung on, driven deep to right field. That ball is going. It is gone. Cincinnati Reds lead 1-0.
And the ceremonial trot around, all 3. Joe didn't steal a base. He just stole a march on the World Series headlines, and he takes his cap off and salutes and so horns here in the stands, and they just love it. And the Cincinnati Reds, Joe Morgan puts his club out in front, bottom of the first, right in the right field stand. A parabola line drive, it was full of power. He got it just where he wanted it and put it where it belonged.
Well, he tried to steal a fastball by Morgan, and that's the worst thing you can do. Here's Tony Perez, the first baseman. He takes outside. Red.
I'm sorry, I guess that's why they passed Joe, the Phillies did, in that situation with the bases loaded.
Yes. Low. 2 balls, no strikes on Perez. Joe Morgan got a 3-1 pitch and drove it way over the right field fence at the 375 mark to give the Cincinnati Reds a 1-0 lead here in the bottom half of the first inning. The count now, 2 balls, no strikes on Tony Perez. And the next pitch, fastball on the outside corner, it's 2-1. On the season, the Reds hit 141 home runs. Also had a good running ball club. They sold 210 bases. The 2-1 pitch is outside, 3 balls and a strike. Of course, everybody knows they can hit the ball. As a team, they batted .280. The Yankees, on the other hand, hit 120 home runs during the season and batted just under .270. 3-1 pitch, bounced up the middle to his left hand and can't get to it. Base hit. Rivers over quickly. He'll get the ball back in. Perez will hold at first base. One of the things when the Yankees worry about, they worried about it in Kansas City, the artificial surface. And they'll have a worry here with this. seems to get to them a lot quicker than at home. Of course, they have the natural sod or the natural grass.
But both these clubs are truly, as you indicated in your last remarks, Bill, not only did they hit the ball out of the park, but it's unusual for a club to be so fast. Usually the heavy guys they're plodders, but neither one of these teams fit that description at all.
Here's Danny Dreesen, the designated hitter. He takes low. That was a source of some controversy here. The DH, the use of the DH by everybody in the series. Off first is Perez. The 1-0 pitch, runners going, throw down to second, and they've got him. Fred Stanley putting the tag on Tony Perez for out number 3. But the Reds pick up a run on the home run by Joe Morgan. They got one other hit. They leave nobody on base. And at the end of one, the Cincinnati Reds won, the New York Yankees nothing.
Now that you're about to buy a microwave oven, know the facts about features. These are the facts on the Amana Touchmatic radar range, the first microwave oven with a memory. Set it and it remembers to defrost, cook, and call you when dinner's ready. Freezer to table 1, 2, 3. Amana Cookmatic Power Shift lets you select the cooking speed you need. Puts you in full control of everything you cook. Amana's 675 watts of cooking power cooks almost everything in 1/4 the usual time and saves energy, uses 50 to 75% less energy than a conventional electric range. The stainless steel interior is big enough to roast a family-sized turkey. The removable glass oven tray catches spills and boilovers. All this plus Amana's full 5-year warranty on the Magnetron. Covers Magnetron cost, labor charges, even the serviceman's travel expenses for 5 years. These are the facts. Amana believes once you know the facts, you'll buy an Amana Touchmatic radar range. Simple as that.
Back at Riverfront Stadium, Win Elliott with Bill White here, and the score is 1-0 in favor of the Cincinnati Reds after the first inning. Joe Morgan deposited Doyle Alexander fastball into the right field stands, and that is the difference. As both these clubs now have had an opportunity to get rid of the butterflies, especially Joe Morgan, Alexander must know what it's like now. I understand, Bill, we just found out Alexander did pitch against the Reds at one time or another.
Back in 1971 when he was with the Los Angeles Dodgers. It was his only year in the National League. Faced the Reds 3 times. Didn't beat them. He was 0-2 against the Reds.
You may know Billy Martin, the machinations of his mind. He's out here talking to the plate umpire at the moment. About what do you know?
No, I don't. He's pointing over toward the Reds dugout on the first base side. And whatever they talked about must have been... I can't think what they could have been talking about.
I think he was asking a question because of the way he held his body, if there be such a thing as body language. I don't think he was being argumentative as such, because the Reds crowd only needed his appearance.
Yeah, to get on him a little bit. Here's Lou Piniella against Don Gullett, second inning. And Gullett misses high. The Reds lead 1-0. It'll be Piniella, Chambliss, and Nettles against the left-hander, Don Gullett. The 1-0 pitch is high again. 2 balls, no strikes. Now, Gullett struck out 2 of the 3 Yankees he faced in the top of the first. He was wild high, though.
Yeah, and he was going 2-0. He did on the first 2 batters.
Of course, he knows he goes out there and throws as hard as he can for as long as he can, because Sparky Anderson has somebody to take care of him if he can't go in too much further.
In his first game in the National League class, well, we let that go.
The 2-0. Fouled straight back, 2-1.
I was going to say, Don, Bill, in his first game of the playoffs, he was overthrowing. He was too strong. This is what he told us. This is why he was wild. He had a similar experience in Fenway Park in the last World Series. In the opening innings, he was wild because he was too strong. He had too much.
Too much adrenaline flow.
Right.
2-1 to Piniella. Swung on line. Base hit down the right side. It'll go in the corner. Piniella around first base, digging for second. Up with the ball is Griffey. He gets it in, but not in time. So Lou Piniella has the Yankees first baseman in the ball game as he doubles down into the right field corner. So Lou Piniella down at second base, nobody out. And here's Chris Chambliss. Of course, I'm sure everybody knew what Chris Chambliss did in that final game against the Kansas City Royals. The first pitch from Mark Littell, a young right-hander. Hit it out of the ballpark, and the Yankees won that ball game 7-6. Royals played excellent baseball that whole series. So here's Chambliss in, left-handed batter. And the pitch to him. Ball strike. Chris is from Dayton, Ohio, not too far from here. Born there, batted .293 this year for the Yankees, hit 17 home runs, drove in 96 runs. Hits left-handers fairly well, as Gullett sets and checks Piniella off second. The one-strike pitch, high, a ball on the strike.
Bill, with Chambliss's closed stance, that is the right foot extended so far towards the plate, how does he get around so fast?
Well, he waits a long time, but he is quick with the bat. He likes the ball out away from him. The curveball, he doesn't mind it being inside. But that fastball, he wants it away. Hits the ball mainly left center, right center. As Gullett sets. The 1-1 pitch, swung on it on the ground to second base. That'll get the runner over. Morgan digs it out, fires on the Perez. They've got Chambliss. Moving to third base is Lou Piniella. So Piniella at third base, there's one away, and it's up to Greg Nettles. Reds lead 1-0. We're playing the top of the second. And let's see how the Cincinnati Red infield will play. Looks like they're going to shorten up just a bit. That's Rose at third, Concepcion the shortstop, Morgan at second, and Perez at first. They're shortening up. They want to cut this run down. Nettles led the American League in home runs with 32. He also drove in 93 runs. And the first pitch to him. It's a fastball too hot. Throw to third, not in time. Diving back in, there's Lou Piniella. Johnny Bench with a quick toss to third base. And Piniella just got back. Now Dick Hauser, the Yankee third base coach, is telling Piniella to be alert. We've got a rifle behind the plate. Munson does the same thing quite a bit with.
With Yogi Berra sitting in the dugout, when have we ever had three catchers like that on one field at the same time?
Next pitch is swung on and missed. The ball on a strike. Hey, don't forget that guy coaching first base for the Yankees.
You mean Elston Howard?
Yes.
You mean the guy that hit a home run the first time he ever played in a World Series, first time at bat?
Another pretty good catcher. You've got Howard and Berra and Munson and Johnny Bench.
And Bill Dickey and Mickey Cochran and Wally Shang and Methuselah.
The count of ball and a strike on Nettles. Piniella on at third, one out here in the top half of the second inning. The Reds have a 1-0 lead. Fastball is high, 2-1. On deck for the Yankees, Elliott Maddox. They play Nettles to pull in the outfield.
I haven't seen anybody play third base in a long time, like, since the days of Brooks, when Brooks was great, as this Nettles did.
2-1 pitch is outside, a breaking ball. 3 balls and a strike. George Foster, the left fielder, shaded a bit toward left center. Geronimo a couple of steps toward right center. Griffey deep and right. Here's the 3-1. Swung on it deep to center. That should get a run in. Going back to Geronimo. He's on the edge of the warning track. He makes the catch. Piniella tags at third base. He'll score easily. And we've got a tie ball game. So Greg Nettles, a sacrifice fly to deep center field, driving in Lou Piniella, and the game is all tied. The Yankees won, the Cincinnati Reds won. And with 2 outs, the batter is Elliott Maddox, the right fielder. He's from East Orange, New Jersey, and a right-handed hitter. First pitch to him. Fastball is swung on. Went too far. Tried to hold up. It's a strike.
I assume, Bill, that Elliott is completely recovered from his problems with his knee.
Well, the bad right knee, he wears a brace on it. He can't run as well as he used to. Curveball bounced slowly toward third. Charged by Rose. Fires on the first base. He's got it. Rose moving to his left in front of Concepcion. Made the play. Yankees tied up with a run on a base hit. They leave nobody. Bottom of the second coming up. The Yankees won, the Cincinnati Reds won.
There I was. Successful businessman, wonderful family, nice home, no crabgrass. But I had to work for it all. I never actually won anything until I played budget rent-a-cars. I can't wait to win sweepstakes. Then it happened. I won, and you can too. Because every licensed driver wins one of 5 different prizes. 2 first prizes of a brand new Chevrolet Caprice, all the way to terrific-looking T-shirt iron-outs. Look, there's no purchase necessary, and the offer expires November 30th. So unless it's prohibited in your area, play the I Can't Wait to Win sweepstakes today at participating budget locations. Be an instant winner. Life is nicer when you're a winner. Sweepstakes rules available at participating locations or see our mail-in offer in national magazines. And right now at participating budget locations, you can rent a Chevrolet Caprice or similar car for only $14.95 a day, 16 cents a mile plus gas. Be an instant winner at Budget Rent-A-Car.
CBS is in Cincinnati, Ohio, Riverfront Stadium for the World Series, as we will be for as long as it continues, and we hope that you join us wherever you are around the world. And catching you up as we go into the bottom half of the second inning, it's all tied up, 1-1. Joe Morgan, the Red second baseman, hit a home run into the right field stands in the bottom of the first. And the Yankees responded when Lou Piniella doubled to right field, advanced on an infield out to second base, and was brought home by Greg Nettles' long sacrifice fly into center field. And that's been the action so far. Neither team has really had the better of the contest. Of course, the Yanks have had two chances to the Reds one. And as we return to the action, Bill White's here.
All right, Wen. Danny Treason, who was up when Perez was cut down trying to steal second base in the bottom of the first, gets a chance to start all over again, all even, with Doyle Alexander. The slow curve is too high to Treason. I guess the National League fans are getting their first look at the designated hitter rule. Treason is a DH this afternoon for the Reds. Left-handed hitter. Hits one deep to right center. Going back is Rivers. Also Maddox. Rivers, a center fielder, calling on the edge of the warning track, and he's got it. One away. Oh, with one out, nobody on, bottom of the second, that'll bring on George Foster, the left fielder. And he's had some kind of a year, Win Elliott. Batted .306, had 29 home runs, drove in 121 runs.
And a kid of quiet determination and obvious sincerity in terms of who he is as an individual and as a man. That comes first before being a ball player, and as you've indicated, he is some ball player, too.
Right-handed batter. Takes inside a ball. Foster is from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. On deck is Johnny Bench. Imagine a lineup with Johnny Bench batting seventh. Alexander's 1-0 pitch to Foster. Misses low. 2 balls, no strikes. There's one out, nobody on, playing the bottom half of the second inning. The score is tied. The Yankees won, the Cincinnati Reds won. Here's the 2-0 to Foster. High, 3 balls, no strikes.
You know, Bill, for a kid who is seeking identity like George is, looking for himself as a human being, I'm kind of surprised by his deportment around the plate, where he deliberately tries to throw the pitcher off with his in and out, pause, and I'm not ready yet, and antsy-pantsy stuff.
Yes, well, you do anything you can to get a little advantage. Here's the 3-0. Fastball right in, there's 3-1. Munson does the same kind of a thing when he takes a lot of time getting into the batter's spot. And the 3-1 to Foster. Misses low, ball 4. Oh, and one out, Foster walks. He's on at first base. During the season, he stole 17 bases in 20 attempts. And that'll bring on the youngster from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Johnny Bench, the catcher. Bench had an off year for Bench. Batted .234 for the Reds. Hit 16 home runs and drove in 74 runs. But he got a big home run in that third game against the Phillies.
Yeah, he said it reminded him of 72 when he did the same thing against Pittsburgh. I guess he'll be remembered for those 2 blows.
Pitch to Bench. Hit on the ground, back up the middle. Stabbed by the pitcher. The second for one. Back to first, double play. Alexander to Randolph, back on to Chris Tamlin. A 1-4-3 double play, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, nobody left. At the end of 2, the score. The Yankees won, the Cincinnati Reds won.
If you can see the writing on the wall, it's probably time to repaint again. Hi, Pat Summerall to suggest you use True Test Easy Care Latex Flat Enamel Paint from York Value Hardware Store. So the next time you see the handwriting on the wall, all you'll need to do is wipe it off. Stains, grease, and grime can't readily penetrate Easy Care's hard enamel finish, so they simply wash away, and you don't need to repaint as often. And because Easy Care has a soft finish, you can have both the flat, smooth look of a latex and the washability of a tough enamel in your living room, family room, in fact, any room. True Test Easy Care has earned the Good Housekeeping seal of approval, and it's available at your True Value Hardware Store. For a more velvety finish, you'll want True Test Satin Hue Flat Interior Latex. Satin Hue has the finest quality flat, smooth finish in 48 decorator colors plus white. See the complete selection of True Test paint exclusively at your participating True Value hardware store. True Value, more than just a name, their way of doing business.
I'm going to say the third round, but it's only the third inning here in the World Series where the score is tied up. Yankees 1, Reds nothing. If you joined us late, we feel great that you are able to make it, and CBS hopes that you will make it for as long as this series goes. Minimum of 4, maximum of 7. Right now, nobody's ahead. Through 2, Joe Morgan's right field home run in the first inning. Pinella's 2-base hit to right field advanced on an infield ground ball, and Greg Nettles brought him home with a sacrifice fly into center field. If you just went through a tunnel or under a bridge where it robs you of radio reception, that's what's happened. As we get going in the third inning here at Riverfront Stadium, and the little guy from Brooklyn came by way of Pittsburgh. First rookie that I can remember in a long time, maybe if ever, who was on the All-Star squad, little Willie Randolph, Bill.
All right, Wen. Willie batted .267 for the Yankees on the year. From Brooklyn, born down in Holly Hill, South Carolina. That's right, hits on the ground to Concepcion, the shortstop, who digs it out, flips on the first base, and there's one away. Randolph, first ball hitting, hit the ball hard, but right to Concepcion.
He did, and on this turf, a few feet either way, and Davey would have had a tough time corralling that ball because it was on the nose.
Here's Fred Stanley, the shortstop. Stanley took over the shortstop position for the Yankees about 3/4 into the season. He had been splitting it with Jim Mason. That's right-handed. And he takes inside a ball. Stanley will take a lot of pitches. He'll duck under the high pitch, back off the inside pitch. He'll make Gullett throw a lot of pitches. Here's a 1-0 to Stanley. He takes it a strike. It's 1-1.
He reminds me of other infielders who've done it on what has been described as intangibles. I'm not taking away his fielding, but at the plate he works on the intangibles.
The 1-1 pitch is a called strike 2. First guy that comes to my mind, Winelli, Eddie Stanky.
Of course.
Solly Hemus.
That's right. Any number of them. Stanky was the guy I had in mind.
The 1-2. Called strike 3, a fastball that just got the outside corner. Gullett has chalked up his third strikeout. There are 2 outs. How about Nellie Fox?
So when Nellie with that bottle bat, he could put the ball almost anywhere. You know, I never saw Wee Willie Keeler. My father used to tell me about him, but Nellie's bat, you remember the barrel of it was almost the same at the fat end as it was at the handle.
Get him on the piston, he hits a line drive someplace. Here's Mickey Rivers, struck out in the first against Gullett. 1-1 to score, top of the third. Bounced over the mound, charged by Morgan, the second baseman, off balance throw, just in time. Good play by Morgan to put out 4-3. Yankees go 3 up, 3 down in the top of the third. Bottom of the third coming up, the score's tied. The Yankees 1, the Cincinnati Reds 1.
Here comes the king, here comes the big number 1. But why the beer, the king is second to none. Just say Budweiser, you said it all. Here comes the king of Sicily, you got to hear the song. Budweiser beer's the one that's leading the rest. When you say Bud, and Beachford aging makes it beer at its best. When you say Bud, one taste will tell you so loud and clear. There's only one Budweiser beer. There's only one Budweiser beer. When you say Bud, there's nothing left you can say. When you say Bud, the king is right on his way. When you say Bud, the king is coming. Let's hear the chorus. When you say Bud, you said it all. When you say Bud, you said it all.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. The weather's a little nippy here at Riverfront Stadium so far in Cincinnati, but it hasn't affected the pitchers that much. They've been in control of this game. At least Don Gullett and Doyle Alexander have only given up a run apiece as we now rejoin the fray at the bottom of the third inning, and the Geronimo named Cesar.
All right, Win. Geronimo is a left-handed batter. He's the center fielder for the Reds. Hit .307 this year. 50 points more than he did last year. Hit 2 home runs, 49 runs batted in. It'll be Geronimo, Concepcion, then back up top for Pete Rose. As we're in the bottom of the third, we've got a tie ball game. The Reds and the Yankees all tied up at 1 apiece. Alexander's first pitch is popped to left side. Nettles going back. He's there, and he's got it. Greg Nettles, Yankee third baseman, making the catch. Geronimo got jammed with a slider. Popped it up to Yankee third baseman Greg Nettles. Oh, with one out, nobody on. That'll bring on Dave Concepcion, the shortstop. Concepcion batted .281 for the Reds this year. Hit 9 home runs. Drove in 69 runs. From Aragua, Venezuela. Another pretty good Venezuelan shortstop.
They're broadcasting the game back to Venezuela right by our side, Phil.
First pitch to him is outside, a ball.
And to Chile, and Nicaragua, and all the border countries down there in South America.
The 1-0. Down low, 2 balls, no strikes.
Of course, we're going around the world, too.
Yes. You know, I was thinking of Louis Aparicio. Pretty good shortstop.
Yeah.
Here's the 2-0 to Concepcion. Fastball is in there, it's 2-1. 1 out, nobody on, bottom of the third. Yankees 1, Cincinnati Reds 1. Reds have a run on 2 hits. The Yankees run on 1 with 1 base hit.
White Sox had another pretty good infielder by the name of Luke Appling. He could talk with that bat.
From Arkansas. The 2-1, line left center, base hit, it might go through. It won't go to the wall. Concepcion around first, digging for second. Round second, he'll drop it free. The ball base's going to be close, and he's safe. Dave Concepcion found the gap between Roy White, the Yankee left fielder, and Mickey Rivers, the center fielder. All the way to the wall. And he's on at third base with just 1 away. Here in the bottom half of the third inning.
He just seemed to time that ball perfectly, Bill. His swing was not a real savage cut. He just got the wood on it and hit it hard.
And the Yankees now will have to bring their infield in. Concepcion at third base. 1 out. The game is tied. Yankees 1, Reds 1. Reds threatening to go ahead as Pete Rose steps in. Alexander looking in at Munson for a sign and sets. Pitch to Rose. Change-up is low. Throw the third, and he just gets back. We talked about Bench and we talked about Munson. They both tried that pick-off at third base.
And that one was closer. Concepcion was got his foot on the bag because Nettles got him on the hand almost simultaneously. That was real close.
George Scherger, the Reds third base coach, tells Davey Concepcion to be careful down at third base. Now the set by Alexander. The 1-0 to Rose. He takes high. 2 balls, no strikes. Yankee infield of Nettles, Stanley, Randolph, Chambliss, all shortened up for Pete Rose. Outfield swung a bit toward right side. The set again by Alexander. The 2-0 to Rose. Swung on, hit in the air, center field. That'll be fired up to score a run. Rivers back, he's got it. Tagging at third base and scoring easily is Dave Concepcion, and the Reds lead 2-1. Pete Rose skying to Mickey Rivers in center field, scoring Dave Concepcion from third base, and the Reds now lead it 2-1. Here in the bottom half of the third. 2 outs now, and the batter's Ken Griffey, the right fielder. Griffey's been up once, lined to Roy White in left field. So he's 0 for 1. Line foul into the seats down the right side.
Bill, Pete Rose's fly out was no fly. That was a solid hit ball. This one was a solid hit ball by Griffey. Concepcion was a solid hit ball, all in this inning.
Well, they're touching up Alexander just a bit here in the bottom half of the third inning. No balls. A strike on Ken Griffey. Yankee outfield blazing to full. The infield more or less straight away. The 1-strike pitch. Change-up is low. A ball on the strike. One ball, 1 strike on Ken Griffey. And a pitch. Change-up. Swung on a miss. Pulled him with a straight change. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now that's Alexander's best pitch. The straight change and the curve change.
You know, the 4 hits in the ball game so far, Bill, 3 of them have been for extra bases. The home run, the triple, and the double. Pinella's double, Concepcion's triple and Morgan's home run.
The 1-2 to Griffey. The fastball that just misses inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I think we're going to see a lot of extra base hits, especially here at Cincinnati's Riverfront Stadium. Ball's carrying well. The 2-2 pitch. Straight change. Pops up left side. Backing up is Stanley. Now he backs off, and the third baseman Nettles is there. And Nettles makes the catch for out number 3. The Reds pick up another run on the triple and the sacrifice fly. They had 1 base hit. They left nobody on base. At the end of 3, the Reds 2, the Yankees 1.
In all my life, never won a darn thing. Thought I was a born loser. Then I played budget rent-a-cars. I can't wait to win sweepstakes. And I won. Because every licensed driver wins. 2 first prizes of a new Chevrolet Caprice, all the way to terrific-looking T-shirt iron-ons. What'd I win? None of your business.
Expires November 30th. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. See our mail-in offer in national magazines. Rules are available at participating budget rent-a-car locations, where GM and other fine cars are featured. World Series time means cold weather and time to start piling up that firewood. It's an easy job with a Remington gas or electric chainsaw. Lightweight, powerful, and available in assorted sizes, they'll do just about any cutting job. So after the game, drop by your nearest Remington dealer and ask him to show you one of the many value-packed Remington chainsaws. A Mighty Mite gasoline starting at $104.95, or the popular Lehman Trim Electric for as low as $29.95. Cutting wood? Think about Remington, the chainsaw in a class by itself.
If we ever find out, Bill White and I will let you know what the cause of little side like during the playing of the game. Billy Martin has talked to Gabe Paul. Gabe Paul, we understand, has talked to Commissioner Kuhn. We don't know what they're talking about. And if we ever find out, we'll let you know. But we thought we would throw that in now so that if anything develops later, why, we would have been in at the beginning.
When I see the Commissioner of Baseball down behind the Cincinnati Red dugout on a telephone. The Yankee officials are on the Yankee side, on the third base side. Well, we're going to the 4th inning. The Reds lead 2-1, and Roy White will lead off against Don Gullett. Roy's been up once, bounced out, and he takes high a ball. Roy chopped one to the left of Rose. Pete got his glove on it. Bounced over to Concepcion, and Concepcion just nipped White at first base in the first inning. The 1-0 pitch, called strike, it's 1-1. Roy's a switch hitter. Had a good year, batted .286. Here's the 1-1 to White. Swung on foul, straight back just under him. A ball and 2 strikes. The Reds have 2 runs on 3 hits. The Yankees 1 run on 1 base hit. We're playing the 4th inning. Roy White leading off against Don Gullett. Here's the wind and the 1-2 pitch. Fastball misses inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gullett gets his sign from pitch and the 2-2 pitch. Low. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Joe Morgan got the Reds off with his home run in the first inning with 2 outs, nobody on. Yankees got a run back in the second. A leadoff double by Piniella. He went to third on a bounce out by Chambliss and scored on a sacrifice fly by Nettles. Reds right back in the bottom of the third. Triple by Concepcion, a sacrifice fly by Rose. Well, the Reds had a fairly easy time getting into the World Series. They beat the Phillies 3 in a row. Yankees were extended all 5 games by the Kansas City Royals.
Hey, Bill White, you were covering the Yankee-Kansas City games. The Phils had the lead in every single one of those games. And Foster and Bench had to hit those home.
Line rolls the third baseman up, and he makes the grab. White hit the ball hard, right to Pete Rose, and there's 1 away.
Don't you like the way I stopped?
I like that.
No, while you were busy with the Yankees and the Kansas City Royals, that last game, well, of course, the 2 last games in the playoffs were just fantastic. Foster comes up in the 9th inning, hits a home run. Bench ties it with a home run. They load the bases. And then that number dribbler by Concepcion wins the game. And then you guys with Chambliss in the last half of the 9th inning and that questionable play in the top of the 9th inning.
You mean the play at second?
The play at second.
Nobody argued that play. Not even Al Cowles.
We'll take that up later.
Okay. Here's third Bunsen. Curveball hit down the right side. It's foul back in the seats. One out, nobody on here in the fourth inning. The Reds 2, the Yankees 1. Munson has been up once, and Gullett struck him out with a good tailing fastball. Hey, Arroyo showed a lot of moxie in that series.
Well, I think they showed good judgment, too, in not complaining about that play. There had been the unpleasantness with the pop bottles, et cetera, just prior to that, you know.
The one-strike pitch is hit in the air to the right side. Coming on is Griffey. Still coming. He's there now, and he's got it. And they're 2 out. So the Royals played that series without the guy who might be their best all-around player, Amos Otis. They played it without their best pitcher, Busby, whom they had lost all year long. And they extended the Yankees to 5 full games before losing. I think both teams could be very proud of the show they put on for the fans. So there are 2 outs, nobody on here in the fourth. The batter, Lupinella, who doubled and scored in the second.
And getting back to that play at second, no, we won't.
Here's a pitch to Pinella. It's a called strike.
The Kansas City theme song, Bill, was Mr. Otis Regrets. You remember that, sir?
Yes. Here's a one-strike pitch. Curveball is outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs, nobody on. Fourth inning. Lou split right field duties with Oscar Gamble during the year. And he also was a DH. As Gullett likes his sign, the 1-1 pitch. Fastball sliced foul right side. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I don't know how Pinella got that over to the right side. It was in high and tight, and that kind of pitch I can remember seeing over my right shoulder out of the right corner of my eye, and I had missed it again.
Here's a 1-2. Swung on, foul straight back. Well, Lupinella, he'll take the ball inside. Alvin Dark used to do that well. An inside-out swing. The ball would be inside, but somehow he'd pull his hands in, get the head of the bat out, and slash that ball to the opposite field.
I can understand that, but not when it's high. You can't do that when it's high.
1-2 on Pinella. 2 outs. And the pitch. Bounce foul again. Back to the screen. Pinella hanging in. And Gullett gets new baseball. He'll work on it. Dealing on deck is Chris Chambliss. Reds 2, Yankees 1. Fourth inning. Gullett still reading signs from bench. Now he rocks, kicks and deals. Bounce to first base. Right there's Perez. He'll take it himself. Side retired. An easy inning for Don Gullett. 3 up, 3 down. Bottom of the fourth coming up. The score. The Reds 2, the Yankees 1.
You can get shock absorbers almost anywhere these days, and good ones. But when you think you need shocks, what you really need is a shock specialist to make sure you get the right shocks for your car and the way you drive. At Midas, you get a shock specialist. Who else can you trust to tell you whether you really need shocks at all? Who else can choose from 5 different kinds of heavy-duty shocks for your car? Who else can install those shocks in 30 minutes or less? Come to Midas. We're shock specialists. We have to do a better job.
At the Opel Isuzu Information Center of America, pandemonium reigns as thousands of people try to find out what one is.
Hello, Opel Isuzu Information Center.
Yeah, say, I think I've got an Opel Isuzu.
Good for you, sir. Can you describe it?
Well, it's about 4 feet high, brown, tan hair out its neck. It's got cute little eyes.
Sir, I believe that's a Shetland pony.
Oh, yeah! I can see that now.
See the little hoofs?
Opel Isuzu, a great new little car at your Buick Opel dealers.
Back at Riverfront Stadium, we're approaching the latter half of the fourth inning with the Cincinnati Reds holding a 2-1 lead. Don Gullett has just had command of this game. Since Lou Piniella opened the second inning with the double, the next 9 Yankees have gone down in order. In fact, he's retired 12 out of the first 13 he's faced. And now here's the guy that gave the Reds their first run. Mr. Do It Every Way and Do It All. The chunky little left-hander with the twinkling eyes and the high voice, Joe Morgan.
Joe Morgan, who homered to give the Reds a 1-0 lead in the first off Alexander. Reds lead at 2-1. Bottom of the fourth. Here's the first pitch to Morgan. Change up this time is low. I don't think Alexander's going to try to sneak that fastball by Morgan again. The Yankees play Joe to pull, both in the infield and the outfield. Fastball is fouled straight back. Got it away that time, put a little dip on it. It's a ball and a strike. Outfield way around toward the right side for Morgan. Alexander's 1-1 pitch. Change up is high. 2 balls and a strike. Morgan had 151 hits on the year for the Reds, 30 doubles, 27 home runs, 111 runs batted in, and 60 stolen bases. And he takes high 3-1.
And that's the first home run Joe has ever hit in postseason play. And he hadn't done well in the league playoff, that is, as far as his hitting was concerned.
3-1 pitch to him. Fastball pop foul. That'll be back out of play. No chance for Munson. And it's 3 balls, 2 strikes. Count is full on Morgan.
Joe, Bill, again, you didn't see the battle between Jim Cott and Joe Morgan. Cott, the quick pitcher,
yes.
Joe Morgan, who liked to flap that left arm and get set. Cott wouldn't let him flap.
Here's a payoff pitch to Morgan. Fastball hit in the air, left center. After his White, he's got a long run. Still going. He's there now, and he's got it. And White ended up almost in straightaway center field. And there's one away.
For a little guy, he's got such power. He just reached out with that pitch and went with it and smacked it into left center field. A real good hit when you consider that he was more or less reaching for the ball.
Ball's carrying well here this afternoon. Here's Tony Perez, the first baseman. Slow curve is a strike. Perez singled to center back in the first. He was cut down trying to steal second base. Chambliss was playing behind him. As the 0-1 pitch comes on, change up again, fouled straight back. No balls, 2 strikes on Perez. 1 out, nobody on. Bottom half the 4th inning. The Reds lead the Yankees 2-1. Alexander doesn't like the first sign for Munson. Now the pitch. This is outside. 1-2.
The big, good-natured giant of the Cincinnati Reds.
Tony Perez. Overlooked quite a bit. The pitch. Morgan. Rose. Change up. Chop. Past the third baseman down the left field line. Perez around first, digging for second. He'll make it there standing as White Stroll will come into third base. So let's pause now 10 seconds for station identification. This is the CBS Radio Network.
WBBM Chicago News Radio 78, 1 o'clock, 48 degrees, the wind northwest 12 miles an hour.
Well, Tony Perez, 2 for 2, a single and a double. He's down at second base. There's 1 out, and the batter is Dan Drayson. And the Yankees now are going to get some action in their bullpen. Dick Tidrow goes down, a right-hander. Elrod Hendricks goes out there. Here's the first pitch now to Drayson. Change up, call strike. The bullpen, the Yankee bullpen, down the Yankee left field foul line. The Red bullpen down the right field foul line. Here's a 1-strike pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. No balls, 2 strikes on Drayson. Danny's been up once. That was in the second inning. He flied to center field, so he's 0 for 1. Tony Perez down at second base. 1 man out. Alexander sets and deals. Straight change is low, a ball and 2 strikes. They play Drayson to bull. White way over in left center. Rivers in right center. Maddox deep in the corner and right. As Alexander checks Perez at second. The 1-2 pitch. Hit in the air, left center. White's right there. To his left just a bit. He's got it. There are 2 outs, and Perez goes back to second base. That'll bring on George Foster, the left fielder for the Reds. Alexander walked Foster back in the second inning, so he hasn't been at bat officially yet. Foster hit 29 home runs for the Reds, drove in 1 runs during the regular season. Right-handed batter, so the Yankees will straighten up in the outfield. As Tidrow continues to throw in the Yankee bullpen down the left field foul line. Now Alexander sets. And a pitch. Low a ball.
As I recall in the series against the Phils, Bill, George Foster's contribution was 2 hits, and both of them into the left field stands.
Both of them big hits for the Phillies. For the Reds against the Phillies. Alexander wants another sign for Munson. Now he sets. And the 1-0. Breaking ball misses outside. 2 balls, no strikes. The Reds had a fairly easy time. They beat the Phillies 6-3 in Philadelphia in the first game. They beat them 6-2 in Philadelphia in the second game. And the third and final game played here at Riverfront Stadium. The home runs by Bench and Foster. And the Reds won it 7-6. Here's the 2-0 to Foster. He takes outside. 3 balls, no strikes. On deck is Johnny Bench. Doyle Alexander pitching carefully to George Foster. With the Reds leading 2-1, playing the bottom of the fourth. Tony Perez, who doubled, is down at second. There are 2 outs. Now Alexander sets. And a 3-0 pitch. Swung on, bounced slowly toward third. Nettles charging. He's out. Hits the runner interfered with Nettles, so Perez is automatically out. I don't know if Perez hit that ball. Of course, if he hit the ball, the runner Foster would be given a single. And we'll give you that when we come back. But right now, at the end of 4, the Reds 2, the Yankees 1.
Every mile you drive with an inefficient, dirty carburetor can cost you money. New Bardo fuel system treatment can help clean up your dirty carburetor. There's more to the story than that. Listen. Sounds awful, right? Intake valve deposits may be causing loss of power and even damaged valves. Bardo fuel system treatment helps prevent intake valve deposit buildup. It may save you a trip to the repair shop. Winter weather can lead to an iced-up carburetor and cause your car to stall. Bardo fuel system treatment can help prevent carburetor icing and could save you from a walk in the cold. Here's the best part. Bardo fuel system treatment is safe for use with catalytic converters. And when you buy 3 cans of new fuel system treatment, we'll give you a $1 cash refund. Pick up an official coupon at a participating retailer. Supply proof of purchase, and Bardo will mail you your $1. Bardo. Run with us.
Oh, let's look at that play, the last play that ended the 4th inning. That ball was hit to third. Nettles was getting ready to catch the ball when Tony Perez ran into the ball. So with the ball hitting Perez, he's automatically out. Nettles will get the put out because he was the closest Yankee fielder to the play, and George Foster will get a base hit.
That's a fine art of deceiving a fielder by attempting to shadow or to conceal the ball when you're running against it. Now, I don't remember 1924, but I just did the special last night, Bill, and Muddy Rule did that to Travis Jackson in 1924, forced him to miss up a grounder by Walter Johnson. The next baller won the game for the Senators.
All right, here's Chris Chambliss. Line base hit left field. Chambliss jumps on the first pitch from Don Gullett and singles to left. That's only the second base hit in this ball game for the Yankees. So Chambliss on at first with a leadoff single here in the top of the 5th. The Reds leading by a score of 2-1.
That was Chris's 12th hit in the postseason play. The 11 with you in the series against Kansas City, and now this one.
11 in that championship series, set a new championship series record. So Chambliss on at first, nobody out. Here's Greg Nettles. Pitch to him, bounce towards second. Morgan has it. To Concepcion for 1. Back to first, double play. The Reds turn a quick 4-6-3 double play, and quickly they're 2 outs. You know, when Elliott, they talk about the Reds' power, talk about the Reds' speed, but good teams win it with defense.
Well, these are both all-around teams, Bill, as we've been saying. Not only do they have the power, not only do they have the speed, but, of course, the speed is the fundamental beginning of defense. The outfielders can run around there like it was in the Olympics. Morgan at second took that ball, turned around on a whirl like Willie Mays did out there in right field. These clubs are here because they are so good in every single department. If I'd fault them anywhere, Bill, it would be pitching.
Pitching might be a little bit short, especially with the Reds. Maybe that's only because Sparky Anderson has a quick hook. Elliott Maddox takes a strike. 2 outs, nobody on. 5th inning, Reds 2, Yankees 1. Maddox has been up once against Gullett. He bounced to Rose at third base, so he's 0 for 1. The 0-1 to Maddox. Fastball is in the dirt, blocked by Bench. Kicks off Bench. Lee Wire, the home plate umpire, picks it up and flips it back to Gullett. The count a ball and a strike on Maddox.
I think that ball skidded off Johnny's bare right hand. He's doing the best to be manly about it, but I think he took it.
Might have touched him up a little bit, huh? Here's a 1-1. Fastball chopped just inside the third baseline. Base hit. It'll go in the corner. Maddox around first, digging for second. He'll make it. There's that ball. kicks and bounces out to left field. Now Elliott's trying for three. The throw there is cut off by Concepcion. So Maddox diving into third base with a triple. Elliott hit that ball just inside the third base bag. The left fielder Foster thought it would go in the corner, but it hit the wall and bounced out. Foster was caught in the corner. He had to come back out. And by the time he got to that ball, Maddox was sliding into third base.
And Gullett, who'd been mowing them down 9 in a row, has been touched for 2 hits in this inning. Of course, Chambliss's wrong field single and that double play, which is so important. The shoulda, coulda, woulda department. You know, when you're rooting for a club, which I'm not, but when you're rooting for a club, you always think that, oh, if they'd only, you know.
Yes, if they'd only not done this, or if they only had done this. Oh, Maddox on at third, 2 outs. Here's Willie Randolph. Willie takes a strike. Randolph has been up once, hit the ball hard, right to Concepcion, who dug it out and threw him out. So Randolph is 0 for 1. The 1-strike pitch, outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. The Reds have 2 runs on 5 base hits. The Yankees 1 run on 3. We're playing the top half of the 5th inning. Elliott Maddox at third base with 2 outs. The 1-1 pitch, outside, 2 balls and a strike. I think Gullett wanted that one. Rose, close in at third base. Here's a 2-1 to Randolph. Swung on, hit in the air, center field, going back. Geronimo still going. Near the warning track, he puts it away for out number 3. Randolph has hit the ball hard twice, and he's 0 for 2. The Yankees, no runs on 2 hits. They leave a man. Bottom of the 5th coming up. The Reds lead the Yankees 2-1.
Now you can have a phone in just about every room without waiting or paying for installation. Hi, Pat Summerall to tell you how. True Value Hardware stores offer phone extension cords, jacks, and plugs from Pacific Electric Cord. Attach them to your phone and walls, and you can carry the phone from room to room for greater privacy and for greater convenience. It's almost like having a phone in every room. True Value Hardware stores offer plugs that fit any standard phone and jacks you can mount on a wall and attach to incoming lines. Get several so you can use your phone in many different rooms. You'll also find 25-foot Pacific Electric Cord phone extension cords. Choose the wire-in type or the plug-in type for jack outlets. Enjoy the luxury of having a phone in every room. Get Pacific Electric Cord jacks, plugs, and extension cords at participating True Value Hardware stores. And remember, True Value, that's more than just a name. It's their way of doing business. And by the way, tell them Pat Summerall sent you.
Well, having gotten in my 10% worth, I want to remind you that game tomorrow night is at 8:15 Eastern Daylight Time. Where? Right here on this CBS radio station. And we're going into the last half of the 5th inning. The Reds, by virtue of a Joe Morgan home run, a Concepcion triple, and a fly ball to the outfield, hold the lead 2-1 as Doyle Alexander starts into toil for the Yankees again. And the batter, the Reds catcher Johnny Bench.
All right, Wynn. Bench has been up once, bounced into a double play, started by Alexander. That was back in the 2nd inning. Johnny takes a curveball. It's low. Bench had 16 home runs during the season for the Reds. Fastball is fouled straight back. It's out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. I always wondered just how good this player, Bench, would be if he hadn't been cut down by injury so often in his career. Here's a 1-1. Fastball is high, 2-1.
Classic case in that direction, too, Bill, was Mickey Mantle.
Yes, Mickey was always injured. Pete Reeser.
Reeser got hurt. These fellows have their injuries endemic to themselves.
High, 3 balls and a strike.
He just couldn't stay away from fences. I mean, the wooden kind that were in outfield. He kept running into them.
Rico Cardi's the same kind of a
That's right.
player.
Yeah.
3 balls and a strike on Bench, leading off against Joel Alexander here in the fifth inning. The Reds have a 2-1 lead. The pitch. Swung on and missed. The pitch went after a high fastball and swung through it. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Don Gullett has had his physical problems. And as you mentioned before, the Kansas City Royals would have been a lot better off with Jim Busby.
3-2 pitch. Swung on, fouled straight back. Good boy, Bill White. Thought we'd catch it.
I want you to know that Bill White just stood up and he wasn't. You won the Golden Glove first base.
About 7 times. I could miss it. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on, line center field. That's going to be a base hit in front of Rivers. And Johnny Bench will hold at first base. So Johnny Bench got a 3-2 fastball and ripped it to center field for a leadoff single here in the 5th inning. Oh, Bench on at first, nobody out. That'll bring on Cesar Geronimo, the center fielder.
And I want you to know that William Tacoma White didn't hesitate for a moment. I had sort of faded out of the way by instinct, as it were. And Mr. White, who was a left-hander as it was, got up, put that left hand out, and Dougie, you have a ball.
All right. Cesar Geronimo has been out once, popped to third. Alexander sets and deals. A fastball that's low. That was the 6th base hit for the Cincinnati Reds.
And the first time in World Series history that I know of that a baseball broadcaster caught a foul ball during the game.
Here's the set now by Alexander, and the 1-0 pitch. Change-up is inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Grant Jackson, the left-hander, gets up and starts loosening up for the Yankees. Tidrow had been up earlier. Now it's Jackson. Johnny Bench on at first, nobody out. The Reds lead 2-1, playing the bottom half of the 5th inning. As Alexander sets, checks the runner. And the pitch. Swung on it on the ground to second. Randolph to Stanley for 1. Back to first, another double play. The Yankees turn a 4-6-3 twin killing, and they're 2 outs. That's the second double play the Yankees have turned over. The Reds have turned 1.
Yeah, that returns in kind what the Reds did in the last inning to wipe out Chambliss just in time, or the Yankees would have had a run.
So now there's nobody on with 2 outs. The batter is Dave Concepcion, the shortstop. He tripled to left center field back in the 3rd inning and scored on a sacrifice fly by Pete Rose. And Concepcion takes the strike. Davey Concepcion batted .281 for the Reds during the regular season. Curved ball is outside. It's 1-1. Concepcion had squared to bunt and took it. That got Nettles in quickly a couple of steps from third base. Not too easy to bunt on this surface. Here's a 1-1 to Concepcion. Fastball hit on the ground to shortstop. Stanley's there, picks it up, flips on the first base. They just nip him at first base. The put out 6-3. No runs, a hit. Yankees turned a double play, and nobody was left on base. At the end of 5 here at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, the Reds 2, the Yankees 1.
They loved you when you bought your little foreign car. But when you brought it back for a new muffler...
Hi, Hugo.
Yeah. What is it, please?
Looking good. Say, I need a new muffler on my car.
A muffler job? A muffler job? Here? Look, we got a lot of important work
Yeah,
here.
but Hugo, I bought my car here.
We sold you a car?
Yeah, if you could just...
Maybe we could squeeze you in. I don't know. Let me consult my appointment schedule. There's a possible opening on the 5th.
Oh, great.
Of January.
January?
Yeah. Take it or leave it.
Well,
all right, forget
I'll
it.
take it.
Foreign car drivers, you don't have to take it anymore. Now Midas gives foreign cars the same kind of service we've been giving American cars for 20 years. You're usually in and out in 30 minutes because we keep our foreign car parts in stock and don't require an appointment. Foreign car drivers, finally somebody speaks your language. Come to Midas. We're foreign car specialists. We have to do a better job.
Fans, be a World Series expert by knowing the history and events that make it America's top sports attraction. It's all inside the official 1976 World Series program, the one that sold it the series. You get the full rundowns on the divisional winners. It's selected newsstands, or you can send a check or money order for $250 to World Series program, Post Office Box 666, San Francisco, CA 94101. Of course, CA is California. That World Series program, Box 666, San Francisco, California, 94101, the preceding brought to you on behalf of Major League Baseball. On behalf of the CBS Radio Network, Bill White.
All right, Win Elliott, and Fred Stanley will lead off against Don Gullett. We're playing the top of the sixth. The Reds lead 2-1. Gullett's fastball is high. Stanley struck out in the third. Oh, he's 0 for 1. It'll be Stanley, Rivers, Roy White against Gullett. The 1-0 pitch. In there, a called strike. It's 1-1. We mentioned the first time up, Stanley takes a lot of pitches. Chokes up on the bat. Not known for his stick work. Good glove man. Here's the 1-1. High. 2 balls and a strike. Reds got off to a 1-0 lead in the first on a home run by Joe Morgan. The Yankees tied it up in the second. A double by Piniella. Went to third on a bounce out. Scored on a sacrifice fly. Reds went ahead 2-1 in the third. A triple by Dave Concepcion with 1 out. And a sacrifice fly by Pete Rose. So it's 2-1 Reds. 2-1 pitch to Stanley is low. Ball 3. 3-1.
And to complete that recap, Bill, the Reds have out-hit the Yankees 6-3. And for the sake of trivia, the Yankees have had both Tidrow and Jackson warming up.
3-1 pitch to Stanley is taken. A called strike, and the count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Both teams, when LA playing flawless baseball in the field. Good defense. Payoff pitch. High, ball 4, and Stanley walks. Oh, that's the first pass issued by Don Gullett. He's walked 1 now, struck out 3.
As it so often happens, he has walked a man he presumably has least to fear from.
You know, Stanley had a pretty good series against the Kansas City Royals. I believe the Royals spent so much time worrying about Munson and Nettles and Chambliss and White and Rivers, they forgot about Stanley. And he had an excellent series. So Fred's at first base. Nobody out. Here's Mickey Rivers, who was struck out and bounced out. Left-handed batter. And the pitch to Rivers. He bunts right back to the mound. Going to second base, and you've got him there. Good place by Gullett. Ball was put in just to the left of the first base side of the mound. Gullett bounced in and threw a strike down to Concepcion. Good play by Don Gullett. The put out. 1-6. Now Rivers on at first base. Of course, he can run. There's 1 out, and the batter's Roy White. Rivers, by the way, stole 43 bases for the Yankees during the season.
And now comes the confrontation that the people have been waiting for, I think, in a sense, with Rivers on first facing the pitcher, Gullett.
And the quick bounces off first. Gullett sets and deals. And he misses outside. Reds lead 2-1, Yankees, with Rivers at first base. And 1 out. See if Martin will start trying to play a little aggressive baseball here in the 6th inning. Gullett now sets. And a pitch. White takes a strike. It's 1-1.
Bill, both managers pre the playoffs went right to the commissioner and the presidents of each league about the new balk rules and pointing out that the other guys' pitchers, you know, were
not my pitchers. Their pitchers.
Yeah, that's right. To unsettle them, and I'm watching now to see whether any of it has any effect on a Gullett.
Well, Gullett setting now and looking over at first base. The pitch to White. High. 2 balls and a strike. 1 out, 1 on. We're playing the 6th inning. The Reds lead 2-1.
The whole deal, Bill, is you're supposed to step in the direction of the base you're going to throw to before you throw it.
Well, left-handers always step toward home, throw the first, then step toward first.
Yeah.
Of course, in the springtime, they bring out those white lines, and they call everything, but then once the season starts, they take those white lines up, and those left-handers start balking again.
Jerry Kuzman used to have a fantastic move.
Now the set by Gullett. The 2-1 pitch. Rivers going is high. Throw down to second. They're going to have him. Joe Morgan puts the tag on Mickey Rivers. And he is stopped stealing. The put out 2-4. And they're 2 away. The pitch to White was high. A perfect pitch for Bench to throw down to second base. He just got there, threw overhand. A perfect strike to Joe Morgan. And Morgan slapped the tag on Rivers. there are 2 outs now, nobody on. The count on White, 3-1. And the 3-1 pitch. Called strike 2. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
If they needed it, that's going to make the Reds feel pretty good.
And the 3-2 pitch. Swung on line to left center. After it is the center fielder, Geronimo. He's there, and he drops the ball right around first base, digging for second. And he's there standing up. Geronimo thought he had that ball in his glove. It came out, and I think White also thought the ball was stopped because he stopped at first base. Then he shifted gears and went on to second base. And Geronimo will be given a 2-base error.
Bill, the ball was fading to the right, and he was running at full tilt to the left. And as he got to the ball shoulder high, it just hit off the thumb of his glove. He was running away from it, and I almost anticipated he would drop it as his glove sort of turned around.
Well, that's the first error of the ball game, and a key one, because White now is down in scoring position. He's potentially the tying run with 2 outs, and the Yankees' top RBI man, Thurm Munson, the batter. Gullett struck Munson out in the first and got him to fly to right field in the fourth. So Thurman's 0 for 2. Gullett has given up just 3 base hits. And the lefty sets. Checks White off second. Pitch to Munson. Swung on line. Base hit right field. They're going to have a play. The throw home, and they hold White at third base. Ball was hit hard. A one-hopper to right fielder, Ken Griffey, and he threw the whole plate, and they held White at third. Oh, the Yankees now runners at first and third with 2 outs. And the batter's Lou Piniella. I tell you, the third base coach, Dick Hauser, did the right thing there, Win Elliott. He'd have been dead.
The throw was about 10 feet up on third base, but I think Johnny Bench would have been right in line, right on the line, straddling the line, and he would have been in the way. He would have stopped White.
Oh, Munson on at first, White on at third. 2 men out. And Lou Piniella's a batter. Piniella has doubled, and he's bounced to first.
And the Reds have got the bullpen pretty active now for the first time. Up there is Will McEnany.
Piniella lines one down the right field line. If it's fair, it's going to be trouble, and it's a foul ball. Just missed the line down there. Goes back in that corner, Win Elliott, and that's about the only place we can't see here in this ballpark. But we have to look at the right field guy umpiring down that right field line, Dave Phillips.
And he gave us the off signal there that it was offline. I can't see down in the corner either. It was just beyond where the Reds are warming up. McEnany and Pedro Bourbon are both warming up. McEnany, the left-hander, Bourbon, the right-hander. We have Yankees on first and third, 2 outs. Top of the 6th, the Reds lead 2-1, Bill.
And the count, no balls and a strike on Piniella. Gullett now sets. Checks the runners, and the 1-strike pitch. Line into center field. Morgan backing up. He's got it. Joe Morgan, a little humpback liner out behind second base. Made the catch, and the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, and 2 men left on base. We're going to the bottom of the 6th. The Reds 2, the Yankees 1.
Once in a while you find someone who knows what to do. And that's someone you can talk to. Once in a while you find someone who cares about you. Someone you can talk to.
For life and health insurance that puts your individual needs first, talk to your life underwriter. Get advice, personal service, and that special expertise in making the future secure. Your life underwriter, only a phone call away.
We all need someone to talk to once in a while. Someone to tell our dreams to help make those dreams come true. Your life underwriter wants to see you smile. That certain special someone you'll talk to once in a while.
A message from your National Association of Life Underwriters.
Through 5.5 at Riverside Stadium here, it's the Reds 2-1 over the Yankees, and that was a real heartbreaking inning for the Yankees. They started off with a walk to Stanley, then a sacrifice bunt by Rivers was snuffed out by Gullett, who caught Stanley at second base. Rivers tried to steal, and he was out. Then an error in center field put White on second base. A single by Munson sharply to right field couldn't bring him in. And then that dying quail over center that Morgan got to, and there were no runs, Bill.
All right, well, here's Pete Rose against Duel Alexander, bottom of the sixth. Rose fakes a bunt. Ball down low and bounced back past Munson all the way back to the screen. Speed got the bat back. 1 ball and no strikes. Rose is fly to center field, and he drove in a run with a sacrifice fly to center field. So he's 0 for 1 with a run batted in. Alexander's 1-0 pitch. Fastball is taken. A called strike on the outside corner. It's 1-1. We're at the top of the Reds batting order. Pete Rose, Ken Griffey, Joe Morgan. The 1-1 pitch. Change up. Low. 2 balls and a strike. The Reds have 2 runs on 6 hits. The Yankees 1 run on 4. Here's a 2-1 to Pete Rose. Swung on and fouled off left side. That'll be back out of play. They count 2 balls, 2 strikes.
To be fair to Alexander, one of the Reds' hits was one of those technical hits. Foster hit a ground ball that actually hit Perez, and by the rules of baseball, it becomes hit, but it was a routine ground ball.
Alexander now has a new baseball. He rocks, kicks, and deals a 2-2 pitch. Straight change is low. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Just about the time, when Elliott, that they begin to get to Doyle Alexander. Payoff pitch. Low, ball 4.
Almost on cue.
Second pass issued by Alexander. Pete Rose at first base. No outs. And the batter, the right fielder, Ken Griffey. Griffey has lined to White and left. He's popped to Nettles at third. Nettles now closes in at third base. He's looking for a bunt.
And Grant Jackson is on his feet in the dugout.
Yep, he's getting his jacket. He'll be going out there. Chambliss holding on Rose at first. Pitch to Griffey. A changeup bounces short. Stanley. Randolph went back to first. Will not be in time, and it gets past Chambliss, but it doesn't go too far. Ball was not hit hard enough to complete the double play, but they did get to force at second on Pete Rose, 6-4. Randolph tried to complete the double play anyway, threw it low, but Griffey, he's running down to first base watching the play. He's got good speed, so he beat it out at first. He's there, 1 out, batter Joe Morgan. Alexander now wants to exchange baseballs, and Lee Wire of the National League clips him another one. As Joe Morgan steps in, Morgan homered with 2 outs, nobody on in the first. He flied to left center in the 4th, so he's 1 for 2. Little Joe from Bonham, Texas. Here's the pitch to Morgan. Changeup is inside. Once again, the Yankees swing that outfield way around toward the right side. They give Morgan a lot of room out in left field. It's a ball that way, he can run all day long. Griffey off first. He's checked. The 1-0 pitch. Called strike. Letter high fastball. It's 1-1.
Rivers of the Yankee tried bench. Bench got him. The Reds have not tried to run on Munson yet.
They tried once with Perez in that first inning when Champ was playing behind him, and Munson cut him down. Of course, Perez doesn't have that speed anymore. And he was trying to sneak into second base, but they got him. Throw the first base, and Griffey's back. Griffey stole 34 bases for the Reds during the regular season, so he can run. As Alexander sets. Here's a 1-1 pitch. High. 2 balls and a strike. A lot of managers, Wynn, do not like for that guy to run off first with Morgan batting. They want to keep that first baseman holding the runner on. Give Morgan a little more room to pull that ball.
And as of now, I don't think Griffey is... Now he's edging off a little further than he had been before.
Throw the first base, and he gets back.
I wonder if those walkie-talkies are up here. Did Alexander hear us?
Here's a set now. Another throw to first base, and Griffey's back again.
Bill, are the Yankees using the walkie-talkies that you know of?
I believe they are. They use them only to place the outfielders and place the infielders. As Alexander sets. And the pitch. Called strike, a fastball on the outside corner. It's 2-2.
Maybe we better explain, Bill, in case the folks hadn't heard, that the Yankees use walkie-talkies up in the press box, presumably to talk to the manager down in the dugout, who thereupon wigwags like Connie Mack used to and places his outfielders for defensive purposes, quote unquote.
Here's a throw to first base, and Griffey gets back.
Of course, the Kansas City Royals caught the Oakland Athletics using the same equipment in the bullpen, and they weren't wigwagging the outfielders.
And back again at first base is Griffey. Of course, they had some binoculars.
There was Raleigh
in Kansas City, but I don't think you can steal signs from where that visiting bullpen is in Kansas City. They were looking at something else. Now Alexander backs off. 1 out. Griffey off first. 2-2 pitch. Change is high. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Morgan. Reds lead 2-1. Bottom half the 6th inning. Now Morgan backs out, looks down at his third base coach, George Scherter. Let's see if they'll move Griffey on this 3-2 pitch. He bounces off first. Now takes a half step. Now another half step. And he's going. The pitch is swung on and missed. Throw down a second. Skips up and is bobbled by the shortstop. Stanley and Griffey safe at second base. Morgan strikes out for the second out. You'll give Griffey a stolen base. He's down at second. Munson got rid of that ball quickly. It tailed down a bit. Stanley got in front of it, made sure it would not go through him, but Griffey slid in safely at second base.
And if I may, I did notice that particular throw by Munson was a sidearm throw. The first one where he got Perez that you reminded us of was an overhand.
Yes. When Munson throws that ball sidearmed, when Elliott, the ball tends to dip and go into the dirt. If he gets it up, it'll sail into center field. Oh, Griffey now down at second, 2 outs, and here's Tony Perez, the first baseman. Line, base hit left field. Griffey around third. He's going to score easily, and the Reds now lead it 3-1. Tony Perez jumping on the first pitch of Joel Alexander and singling in the hole between Drake Nettles, the third baseman, and Fred Stein, the shortstop, and Perez is now 3 for 3, and the Cincinnati Reds lead it 3-1.
And the pressure baseball of getting the man into scoring position. Griffey stealing second, put him in a position to score on that base hit.
And once again, the Yankee bullpen gets up. Sparky Lyle, the left-hander, and Dick Tidrow, the right-hander. As Dan Dreesen steps in. And the Cincinnati Reds lead it 3-1.
And the pressure baseball of getting the man into scoring position. Griffey stealing second, put him in a position to score on that base hit.
And once again, the Yankee bullpen gets up. Sparky Lyle, the left-hander, and Dick Tidrow, the right-hander. As Dan Dreesen steps in. Pitch to him. Change-up is a called strike on the outside corner. Dreesen is 0 for 2 against Joel Alexander. He's flied to center field, flied to left. Alexander sets. Here's a 1-strike pitch. Another change-up. Popped up. Third base side, foul territory. Munson over there, and he's got it. Thurm Munson, the catcher, made the catch in foul ground. Reds pick up another run. On just 1 base hit, they leave a man on base. And at the end of 6 here at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio, the score, the Reds 3, the Yankees 1.
This is Pee Wee Reese talking. You know, they say the records are there to be broken in baseball. And, brother, they've sure broken some records since I played shortstop for the old Brooklyn Dodgers of the 1956 World Series. But let me tell you about the record breaker of the year, Levi Garrett Chewing Tobacco. Now, there's a name people knew and trusted before baseball was even invented. Well, now, the Levi Garrett people have come out with a fresh new chewing tobacco flavor that lives up to their proud tradition of quality and good taste. And talk about breaking records. People all over this country are making Levi Garrett the fastest growing brand of loose leaf chewing tobacco. Just taste that fresh new flavor and you'll know why. Look for Levi Garrett in the gold pouch with the picture of the original factory building on it. Fresh new flavor from a name you can trust. You know it's got to taste good. It's got the Levi Garrett name. Levi Garrett Chewing Tobacco.
Well, Elliott, with Bill White back at Riverside Stadium in Cincinnati as the Cincinnatians chalk up their third run of the game in the last half of the sixth inning. Not a big batting display by the world's champions, but they can make so many things work for them in this game of baseball. The first man up, Rose, gets a walk. He is snuffed out on a fielder's choice. Griffey on first, a speed ball, steals second as Morgan strikes out, and then the single to left cashiers the run. And that's how they do it. It won't be heard around the world, but on the scoreboard, it counts as a run.
And they're ahead 3-1, Win. Top of the seventh as Chris Chambliss gets ready to step in against Don Gullett. Chambliss has grounded to second, and he's singled to left. He's 1 for 2. Here's Gullett's first pitch. Swung on and missed. Now we're seeing something down there that will be important in the late innings, Win Elliott. That shadow is just around home plate. That ball's going to get hard to see in another 10 or 15 minutes. The one-strike pitch is a call, strike two, a fastball drilled right in there by Gullett. Pitcher throwing out of the sunshine into the shadows. Tough for the batter to pick the ball up. Two-strike pitch, hit seam. Chambliss couldn't get out of the way. He spun around and got hit on the shoulder. So he's on at first base. That ball got away from Gullett. He was ahead in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. Trying to pitch Chambliss up and in. Chris couldn't get out of the way of the ball. He's down at first base. With nobody out, and the batter's Greg Nettles, the third baseman. Nettles drove in the first run for the Yankees back in the second inning, and the only run the Yankees have scored with a sacrifice fly. Grounded into a double play in the fifth. So he's 0 for 1. Nettles is a left-handed batter. Gullett, the left-hander, sets. And the pitch. High. Perez is playing behind Chambliss. The Royals did that. And Chambliss stole a base. In fact, he led everybody in that American League Championship Series in stolen bases with 2 during the playoffs.
I was about to say, Big Chris had a better lead than anybody I've seen in the game so far. At least a 2-step lead over, say, what Rivers had had.
The 1-0 pitch, swung on, bounced slowly towards second. Morgan tags the runner, throws the first, double play. Morgan tagged Chambliss as he went by and flipped on the first base for the double play. Now, Chris missed an opportunity to sort of hit Morgan and keep him from throwing that ball at first base as he ran on the inside toward the mound. Morgan tagged him, then threw on the first base. I think the base runner there has either got to flatten that second base or just stay there and keep bumping it. He cannot let him throw that ball to first base. So there are 2 outs. Once again, Pedro Borbon gets up along with left-hander Will McEnany. It's a second double play the Reds have turned over in this ball game, and here's Elliott Maddox, who was bounced to third and tripled. He's 1 for 2, and takes high ball. Top of the seventh, the Reds lead 3-1. 2 outs, nobody on for the Yankees.
In the last 3 innings, Bill, the Red infield has been a big help to Gullett.
Fastball is then a called strike. It's 1-1 on Maddox.
In the 5th inning, Chambliss led off with a single. Nettles hit into a double play. Rivers bunted into a forced play in the 6th inning and was cut down by Bench. And now this play by Morgan and Perez.
Yes. The 1-1. Maddox takes high, 2 balls and a strike. Of course, Gullett helped himself back in that 6th inning after he walked Stanley. Rivers bunted, and he got that ball. I didn't think he had a chance at second base, but he threw down to second and made a good play there, getting Fred Stanley. Big play. The 2-1. Swung on, fouled back. Had he not gotten Stanley there, the line drive in the center field that was dropped by Geronimo would have scored a run. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Maddox with 2 outs. 7th inning. Gullett now has the new baseball, rubs it up. Back up top, looking for a sign. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on, fouled back again. Just off to our right, the count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes on Elliott Maddox.
Save for the ball of Geronimo, approximately overran there in center field. The defense has been very tight, right on the money. Come to the aid of the pitcher just when he needed it most on both sides.
Well, the Reds have completed a couple of double plays, and so have the Yankees. Of course, it's hard not to field well on this artificial surface. Here's a 2-2. Low and in the dirt. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Maddox. Not too many bad hops on this surface.
But not much time to make up your mind how you're going to field the ball and what you're going to do with it. So it's half a dozen in one and a dozen in the other.
It'll get there to you. Quickly. Full count on Maddox with 2 outs. Gullett winds and the payoff pitch. Low, ball 4. Oh, Maddox walks. That's a second walk given up by Don Gullett. Oh, Maddox on at first with 2 outs. He's not a threat to steal. He's still playing with a knee brace on. The batter, Willie Randolph, the second baseman. He's hit the ball hard twice, but he's 0 for 2. And a sharp ground ball to Concepcion in the third. Fly deep to center in the fifth. And the pitch to Randolph is low ball. Reds lead 3-1, top of the 7th. Now time is called. Larry Shepard, pitching coach for the Cincinnati Reds, goes out. He wants to talk first of all to pitch. And then secondly to Don Gullett. Now Shepard's looking out at his bullpen. Larry Shepard. Looks like he wants to go back here. Going to let Gullett stay in. Shepard just went out for a few quick words. He walks slowly back to the Cincinnati Red dugout on the first base side. The bench comes back behind the plate.
Bill, in the first game that Gullett pitched in the playoffs, he tightened up in the 8th inning, and he didn't pitch in the 9th inning. But I think at that time it was an injury to his groin rather than his arm. Maybe Shepard had detected a change in his motion at that point.
Now he's ready. The 1-0. Low again. 2 balls, no strikes. One thing Doc Ellis said coming out with Elliott, which might be important, he said that Gullett can throw as hard as anybody from the windup. But from the set position or the stretch position, he loses a lot off that fastball.
Ellis said that as a former Pittsburgh Pirate.
Yes. Doc Ellis, of course, with the Pirates, as he knows these Reds. Here's a 2-0. High ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes on Willie Randolph. Elliott Maddox on at first base. 2 outs here in the 7th inning. The Reds have a 2-run lead. They lead it 3-1.
And you can hear something called apprehension. It's rippling through the crowd here at Riverfront Stadium.
Well, a lefty sets. And the 3-0 pitch is in there called strike at 3-1. Now Randolph backs off, looks at his third base coach, Dick Hauser. Hauser looking in at Billy Martin. Now he gives a couple of signs to Randolph. Here's a set. The pitch. Ball strike 2. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Randolph. So Maddox will be moving. Otto Velez has just picked up a bat and he's moved into the on-deck circle. He'll bat for Fred Stanley if Randolph gets on. Now the set. The runner going. Payoff pitch is high. Ball 4. So Gullett has walked 2 in a row here in the 7th inning. Yankees have runners at first and second with 2 outs. And Otto Velez is being sent up to bat for Fred Stanley. Now Morgan calls time. He wants to talk to Gullett. The third pass issued by Don Gullett. 2 of them here in the 7th inning. He hit Chambliss. He had a no-ball, 2-strike count on Chris Chambliss as Chris was leading off here in the 7th. Then Nettles was up, and he bounced one slowly to Joe Morgan, who tagged at Chambliss and then threw on the first base to complete the double play. Then Gullett lost his control, walked Maddox, then he walked Randolph. So the Yankees have runners at first and second. They're 2 outs, and Otto Velez is batting for Fred Stanley. Velez is a right-handed batter. Gullett sets and deals. Swung on and missed. Jim Mason has gotten up and he starts throwing in the Yankee bullpen. Of course, he'll come on and play shortstop for the Yankees in the bottom part of the 7th inning.
Like you people say, Gullett reached back that time. Velez, his swing was perceptibly behind the pitch.
Here's a 1-strike pitch. Swung on and fouled back. No ball, 2 strikes. We mentioned earlier when Elliott about that shadow, and it's just about got home plate covered now. And the hitter, the catcher, and the umpire will have a little bit more trouble seeing the baseball as the pitcher is throwing from the sunshine into the shadows. strikes on Perez. Runners lead off first and second with 2 outs. The pitch, outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Perez on the year for the Yankees, batted .266, hit 2 home runs and drove in 10 runs. He only got into 49 ball games. Now Gullett gets a sign and sets. The 1-2. Swung on and missed. Perez goes down swinging. Big strikeout for Don Gullett. No runs, no hits, no errors by the Cincinnati Reds. The Yankees leave 2 men on base. We go in the bottom half of the 7th inning. It's the Reds 3, the New York Yankees 1.
When you say bud, you said a lot of things nobody else can say. When you say bud, you've gone as far as you can go to get the very best. When you say bud, you tell the world you know what makes it all the way. When you say bud, you say you care enough to only want the king of beers. There is no other one. There's only something left because the king of beers is leading all the rest. When you say you said it all.
Anheuser-Busch, headquarters, St. Louis, Missouri.
I understand a couple of times I've said this is Riverside Stadium. Of course it is. It's Riverside Drive and Riverfront Stadium. Both very nice places to be at different times. Game 2 tomorrow night here at Riverfront Stadium. Airtime 8:15 Eastern Daylight Time right here on this CBS station. The Yankees have been threatening in the last couple of innings. They've left 5 men on, I see, in the last 2 innings, but have failed to crack through. The pinch hit at that time, Otto Velez, going down with healthy swings, but really not a threat the way he took his cuts. All right, Bill, we've got a new defensive lineup for the New York Yankees.
Well, they've got a new shortstop, one Elliott. Jim Mason comes on to play shortstop as George Foster steps in for the Reds. Reds lead 3-1, bottom of the 7th. Line, base in left field by Foster. Foster jumping on a curveball and ripping it to left. White fouls the ball. Foster started to go to second base, but changed his mind. And fortunately for Foster, because White threw a strike into second base. So George Foster, a leadoff single here in the 7th. He's now 2 for 2. Of course, his first baseman was a routine ground ball to third base that Tony Perez ran into, and technically Foster got a base hit. And once again, the Yankee bullpen gets busy. It's Tidrow and Lyle. Tidrow, the right-hander, Sparky Lyle, the left-hander. Here's Johnny Bench, who's 1 for 2, a single to center. Pitch to Bench. Fastball is low. Reds now have 3 runs on 8 base hits. The Yankees 1 run on 4. Bottom half of the 7th inning. Here's the 1-0 to Bench. Swung on line, deep to right field. That ball is up against the wall. Bounces back in, gets past Maddox. Around third base is Foster. He's going to score. And Bench takes into third base with a triple. And the Reds lead it 4-1. Johnny Bench going to the opposite field. Looks like that ball was going to be out of here. Hit high off the wall and bounced back past Maddox. And by the time Maddox got the ball back in, Foster had scored from first base, and Bench is over at third with an RBI triple, and Billy Martin now walking out to the mound, and that might be all for Doyle Alexander. Martin wants the left-hander, Sparky Lyle.
Well, Bill, you called it. You said that it would be the 6th inning that the pace or the burden might begin to show on pitcher Doyle Alexander. You're about an out late, but here we are.
Well, when that's only because I think the hitters finally get to the point where they realize that Alexander will not throw the fastball by them.
So the news from Riverfront Stadium here in Cincinnati is 4-1, a change in pitchers. And so let's take a brief update from CBS News in New York.
CBS News, I'm Steve Young reporting on the CBS Radio Network.
President Ford and Jimmy Carter exchanged telegrams today. Carter charged Mr. Ford with making misleading and erroneous statements regarding the Democrats' stands on taxes and federal spending. In responding to that telegram, Mr. Ford said he was delighted to help Carter clarify his stands on the issues, and he continued to say Carter waffles and wobbles on tax, spending, and other issues. The warring factions in Lebanon seem to have taken the day off. It's reported quiet there today. Syria's president has ordered his troops to stop fighting. That move came as Arab and Palestinian leaders gathered in Saudi Arabia for summit talks on the Lebanese war. That British-sponsored conference on Rhodesia that was to have opened in Geneva October 25th has been postponed for 3 days to accommodate the black African leaders who wanted more time to prepare for the meeting. Steve Young, CBS News, New York.
Back at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, where Sparky Lyle is finishing his warm-ups as he has just replaced Doyle Alexander in the bottom of the 7th inning, as the Reds have now gone 4-1 in the lead as a result of Johnny Bench's screaming line drive down the right field line. It just hit the wall maybe 4 or 5 feet below the top. And I'm told by a local observer that back in 1972, the historic home run that Johnny hit that defeated the Pittsburgh Pirates, or at least tied up the game at that point, went to the same spot, just that much higher, and into the stands. So the Reds threatening with Bench on third and Cesar Geronimo at the plate. Bill White.
All right, Wes. Sparky Lyle coming on in relief of Doyle Alexander here in the bottom of the 7th with the Reds leading 4-1. Johnny Bench at third base. Nobody out. Yankees bring their infield in. Geronimo is 0 for 2. A left-handed batter. First pitch to him is swung on and missed. Lyle getting that slider down and away. Sparky had another excellent year for the Yankees. He picked up 23 saves and 7 wins in 1976. Here's the 0-1 to Geronimo. Outside, blocked by Hudson now. He can't find it, and Bench will score. Reds now lead 5-1. See if that's a wild pitch or a pass ball. Wild pitch. Wild pitch charge to Sparky Lyle. Reds now lead 5-1. And the count on Geronimo is a ball and a strike. That ball was to the left of Munson. He got that paw down there, blocked it, and it kicked back to his right. He couldn't find the ball, and Bench alertly scored from third base. The 1-1. Swung on line left center. That's going to be a base hit. It might go to the wall. Rivers trying to block it off, and he does. But around first base and digging into second is Cesar Geronimo. And the Reds have come alive here in the bottom half of the 7th inning.
Yep. The world champions are playing like it now. The game had been even up until this inning, 3-1, and one swipe of the bat by one of the Yankee power hitters could have brought it back in focus. But with the first 3 batters, the game has completely changed to Cincinnati now. That triple by Bench off the right field wall after the single by Foster, followed by this double, has now changed the entire complexion of the game.
Now here's Davey Concepcion, and he takes high from Lyle.
Whether it's the lively ball or the lively field, of the 10 hits made to the Reds so far, 5 have been for extra bases, Bill.
Lyle sets again. Here's the 1-0. Concepcion fouls it straight back. It's a ball in the strike. Cesar Geronimo down at second base. There's nobody out here in the 7th inning. The Reds lead 5-1. Well, that finishes up Alexander's record. The 1-1 is bunted out and missed. 1-2. So Alexander went 6+. Pitched to 2-runner batters here in the 7th. Gave up 5 runs on 9 base hits. He struck out 1 and walked 2. Brad Jackson and Dick Tidrow loosening up in the Yankee bullpen. Geronimo offset. Here's a 1-2 to Concepcion. Swung on and missed. Just a big breaking curveball, and there's 1 away. So Concepcion strikes out. Geronimo still at second. And the hand is for Pete Rose. Rose is 0 for 1 in the ballgame, although he's been up 3 times. He flied to center field to lead the ballgame off in the first. He drove in a run, the Reds' second run of the ball game with a sacrifice fly to center in the third, and he walked in the sixth.
This is the first time we've seen him as a right-hander in this game, facing a left-handed Lyle.
Yankees play roll straight away. Lyle sets, checks the runner, and deals. Bounce towards shortstop. To his left is Mason. Digs it out, throws on the first base. They've got Rose. And on the play, Geronimo goes to third. So with 2 outs, the batter will be Ken Griffey, the right fielder. Griffey so far is 0 for 3. Line to left, popped to the third baseman Greg Nettles, and forced a runner at second base in the sixth. Then he stole a base and scored on a single by Tony Perez. The Reds have 5 runs on 10 hits. The Yankees 1 run on 4. We're playing the bottom half of 7th. Lyle sets. And the pitch. Griffey takes low and away. Good stop there by Munson. He saved a wild pitch. Lyle basically is a slider pitcher. He keeps that slider down and away from left-handers. Every once in a while, he'll try to hit him on the pitch with a fastball. Here's a 1-0. Swung on and missed. 1 ball, 1 strike on Griffey. Griffey almost won the National League batting title.
Yeah. That last day when he sat it out until he discovered that Madlock was killing the ball, and then he came off the bench for 2 times at bat and struck out both times.
Now the set by Lyle. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Swung on, bounced foul. Into the photographer's section, just to the left of the Cincinnati Red dugout on the first base side. It's a ball and 2 strikes on Griffey.
Bill, I don't necessarily mean this to pertain to Griffey's performance, but it's been my experience in any sport at any time. You can't press buttons. I don't care how good you are. Unless you're out there to give all the time. You can't sit back and say, well, I'll do it when I want to. When you do it when you want to, you're found more wanting than want to.
You're saying it's hard to turn it on and off.
It sure is.
Here's the 1-2 to Griffey. Swung on and missed. Waved at a wide breaking slider. But the Reds scored twice on 3 base hits to leave a man on base. And at the end of 7, the Reds 5, the Yankees 1.
Until now, a do-it-yourselfer needed a vise to hold his work, a workbench to hold the vise, and the space to fit the workbench. Hi, Pat Summerall to tell you that True Value Hardware stores can help you change all that with the Black & Decker Workmate. It's a portable all-purpose workbench, vise, and more. It adjusts to hold wedge-shaped objects, pipe, even irregular and bulky items like bicycles for repair. Yet it weighs just 32 pounds and folds to the size of a collapsed lawn chair, so you can take the workbench to the work. See the Workmate portable all-purpose workbench at True Value Hardware stores. And while you're there, check out their selection of Black & Decker power tools, like the 3/8-inch power drill. It drills through 3/8-inch steel or 3/4-inch hardwood. It's double insulated for electrical safety, and it's just $9.88. Black & Decker tools are just some of the values at participating True Value Hardware stores. True Value. It's more than just a name. It's their way of doing business.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on this, the CBS Radio Network.
This is WBBM Chicago, News Radio 78. It's 1 minute past 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 47 degrees, wind northwest, 10 miles an hour.
Here we are back on the banks of the Ohio. Can't say the side of the Ohio. The banks of the Ohio, the Riverfront Stadium, the home of the Cincinnati Reds, and right now, the home of the free and the happy Cincinnati fans who've seen their club put together 10 hits, 5 runs. They've committed 1 error. The Yanks, threatening occasionally, have only got 4 hits off non-Gullett and 1 run. As we go into the top of the 8th inning, that's the story. 5-1, Cincinnati Reds, and Mick the Quick up there, Bill.
And Sparky Anderson taking no chances. He got a couple of guys warming up as Gullett deals high to Rivers. Pedro Borbone and Will McEnany, a left-hander and a right-hander. Borbone, the right-hander, and McEnany, the left-hander. Rivers so far is 0 for 3 against Gullett. Fastball popped up behind the plate. Johnny Bench throws the mask away. He's got room, and he's got it. Boy, he makes things look easy when Elliott. That's Johnny Bench.
Yeah, like we said before, when it comes to catchers, we got 4 of them down there that the golden arms, I suppose. And looking right down at the bench's face as he was assessing the pop fly, he was absolutely serene and confident. There was no question.
No way he was going to miss that ball.
No, he had a magnet in the glove.
Oh, there's one out, nobody on. 8th inning, here's Roy White. He was bounced out, lined out, and got on an error by center fielder Cesar Geronimo. So White's 0 for 3. Reds lead 5-1, 8th inning. On deck is Thurr Munson. Here's Gullett's first pitch to White. Swung on line, base hit left field. Backing up and getting it on a couple of hops is Foster. He gets it back in, and White will hold it first. Only the 5th base hit in this ball game for the Yankees. White on it first, one out, and the batter Thurr Munson.
Bill, on the previous pitch, Don Gullett stumbled on the mound. I was going to say, had there been a man on base, that would have been a balk. He is now bent over, and he may have pulled a muscle in the groin as he had done in the first game, or maybe Sparky Anderson is out there. The trainer is out there. It looks like it's in his right ankle or foot.
And right away, Anderson beckons. He wants the right-hander, Pedro Borbon. So Borbon will come on, and of course, he'll get as much time as he needs because Gullett is being taken out because of an injury.
It seemed inconsequential at the time when Don stumbled on the previous delivery, but obviously he turned his ankle. He turned that right ankle, and the crowd comes to its feet here at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati to salute Don Gullett as he leaves the game after having faced the one batter, or the two batters in the 8th inning, giving up a single to Roy White. And as I have it, that was the 5th hit of the 8 1/3 innings that he has pitched, and he's allowed the single run. The 7 1/3 innings. And now Pedro Borbon, who has been the backbone of the Cincinnati Reds relief corps for a couple of years with the trading of Clay Carroll. It was Carroll and Bourbon who used to carry. Then the kids came, McEnany and Eastwick. I have a theory about this Cincinnati Red Club. You know, they've been at the Big Red Machine since 1970. But in all that time, they have only won a pennant. That is the World Series and the championship last year. They were bested by the Orioles. They were defeated by Oakland. But it was with the appearance of the two fuzzy-cheeked kids last year, Eastwick and McEnany, who had fabulous years coming in from either side of the plate as relief pitchers, that this club, I won't say matured, but it gave them just the thing they needed. Well, it made possible Sparky Anderson to change his name to Captain Hook. You can't be Captain Hook unless you got somebody to follow up the hook. And it was those two kids who did it. Just a theory of mine, Bill, just like on your club, the Yankees. Their great pennant-winning champions have always had great relief pitchers, going back to Will Seymour and Joe Page, Johnny Murphy. It doesn't happen unless you got that stop.
Allie Reynolds.
Yeah.
And this club, of course, was Sparky Loud, Dick Tidrow, Grant Jackson.
That's right.
Well, Borbon is ready, and he pitches to Munson, and it's up and in a ball. So Gullett went 7 1/3, gave up 1 run on 5 hits, struck out 4, walked 3. Of course, White's his responsibilities. Perez playing behind White at first base. 1 out here in the top of the 8th. Pop foul, that's back over our head. Hits the ball in the strike on Munson.
If Lefty Gomez is listening out there in San Francisco, mentioning Johnny Murphy must make his left arm tingle.
Now Borbon sets and deals. Fastball bounced slowly toward third. Over there's a picture. Borbon throws on the first base off balance. They've got Munson. And moving into second base is Roy White. Oh, they're 2 outs. To put out 1-3. Good play by Borbon. And we're going to get a pinch hitter for Lou Piniella. Carlos May is going to bat for Lou Piniella. Billy Martin going for a left-handed hitter against a right-handed pitcher. Now Raleigh Eastwick gets up, along with Will McEnany. Eastwick a right-hander.
Bill, that was a big out for Borbon. At Munson, as he goes, this club has been going.
Carlos May takes the strike. Reds have a 5-1 lead. Playing the top of the 8th, they're 2 outs. White is down at second base. The next pitch, line right field, but right there's Griffey going back now, and he's got it on the run. Griffey started in, then had to go back and made the catch on the run for the 3rd out. So the Yankees, no run to base hit, and White was left at second base. We're going to the bottom of the 8th. The Reds 5, the Yankees 1.
When you've decided to buy a microwave oven, wouldn't it be nice if there was an easy way to be sure you're getting the right one? There is. Just go to your Amana retailer and see a demonstration of the fabulous Amana Touchmatic radar range, the first microwave oven with a memory. The Amana Touchmatic radar range can take foods from the freezer to the table, simple as 1, 2, 3. Because Amana's Touchmatic radar range remembers how long to defrost, then remembers exactly how long to cook. And after it calls you for dinner, the timer even remembers and displays the time of day. And just look at these other performance and convenience features. Stainless steel interior, big enough for a family-sized turkey. Cookmatic Power Shift lets you choose the cooking speed you need. 675 watts of cooking power cooks almost everything in 1/4 the usual time, with 50 to 75% less energy than a conventional electric range. That's energy saving. The Amana Touchmatic radar range. Once you see it in action, you'll know it's the one for you.
Back at Riverfront Stadium, where we're approaching the last half of the 8th inning with the home team, Cincinnati Reds, seemingly in command of the game 5-1. Sparky Lyle now in relief of the starter Doyle Alexander, and Pedro Bourbon, who came in to snuff out a Yankee chance last inning, as Don Gullett seemingly turned his ankle after pitching to one batter and had to be removed. Yanks might have had a chance, but their big hitter Munson was out, the pitcher to first, and then a fly ball to right field. And right now it looks like the champions are in command. Bill?
All right, Wynn and Joe Morgan, the fellow who's helped the champions toward getting in command. He homered in the first. And he takes outside from Lyle. Morgan also flied to center, left center, to White in the fourth, and struck out in the sixth. First time he's faced Sparky Lyle. Line, Willie Randolph leaps at second base. He makes the catch. Morgan went down and got a low fastball lined to the second baseman, Willie Randolph, and there's one away. And the hand is for Tony Perez. Perez is 3 for 3 in this ball game this afternoon with a run batted in. He's got 2 singles and a double. Yankees flame straight away. Tony Perez, 3 for 3. On the year, he batted just 260. 19 home runs, 91 runs batted in. And he takes a strike on the outside corner. And to get those 91 RBIs, he drove in 3 runs the last day of the season. Sliders inside, it's 1-1. It's hard for Perez to get much recognition. He sits around Morgan, Rose, bench, swings, and he doesn't get a slider. A ball and 2 strikes.
In fact, there was some question as to whether he had sufficient recognition with the Reds front office a couple of years ago. There was a lot of talk about Tony being on the block, whether that was true or not.
Of course, that spurred him on to a good season the next year. The 1-2 is popped foul out of play right side. Count remains. A ball and 2 strikes on Perez. On deck is Dan Dreesen.
That's knowing your personality then, Bill. I mean, not yours, but some people do better when they know they're loved.
Some people do a little better when they know they're under pressure. I like to be under a little pressure.
Really?
Yes.
Did your managers know that?
Well, they love me. The 1-2 is fouled straight back. I put the pressure on myself, Wes.
How about that? Well, that's the best kind, to be self-motivated. It doesn't make any difference what business you're in.
Lyle gets a new ball. He works quickly. The 1-2 pitch to Perez is swung on and missed. Munson scoops that ball up and tags Perez, and they're 2 outs. Lyle has come on and struck out 3. Oh, they're 2 outs. Nobody on for the Reds in the 8th inning. The batter, Dan Dreesen, the designated hitter. He's flied to center field, flied to left field, and fouled out. 0 for 3. Dreesen will be the DH against right-handed pitchers. Bob Bailey, the DH against left-handed pitchers, as Dreesen takes the strike on the inside corner. Of course, the Reds lead at 5-1, so Anderson not allowing Dreesen to bat against Lyle. Slider swung out and missed. No balls, 2 strikes.
Does he consider that Dreesen is a better sitter-downer than Bailey? More adroit?
Bounce to first base. Campbell babbles the ball, and nobody's covering first. Lyle did not break off the mound. And when Campbell bobbled that ball, nobody was there to catch the throw. And we'll wait to see what the official score says.
I would anticipate that to be 2 errors. One that will go on the books to Chambliss, and one will not go on the books to Lyle.
Well, they give one, you're right, when they do give the physical error to Chris Chambliss. And, of course, Lyle not being there as Chambliss got that ball, looked for it, but there was nobody there. Well, that's the Yankees' first error of the ball game. And here's George Foster, the left fielder. Runner at first, 2 outs. Runner going. Popped up left side. White coming on. Still coming. Glasses down in left field, and he puts it away for out number 3. No runs, no hits, near and a man left on base. At the end of 8, here at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, the score, the Reds 5, the Yankees 1.
When you come in to get a new muffler, the last thing you want to get is a surprise with a final bill. So Midas presents the price quote that sticks. It's our Midas free written estimate, and it's one of a kind. Before we ever lift a wrench, we show you on paper exactly what parts you'll need and exactly what it will cost. And the finished job will never cost you 1 penny more. At Midas, we haven't just been building business for 20 years. We've been building trust. For mufflers or shocks, come to Midas. We're specialists. We have to do a better job.
Do you have a taste for things that are a little out of the ordinary? Look, Doris, it has a clock in its stomach and it glows in the dark.
I think we should snap it up, Dick.
Do you like things that are fun but are also functional?
Look, Dick, this is fun.
But is it functional, Doris? Do you want to be the talk of the town?
Oh, Dick and Doris, we were just talking about you.
Then the Opel Isuzu is your kind of car. It's not ordinary. It's fun but functional, and people will talk about it.
Did you hear what Dick and Doris bought?
The Opel Isuzu, a dandy new small car at your Buick Opel dealers.
Home or on the road, it's always a thrill to see that ball sail right out of the park. I'm Mike Schmidt of the Phillies, and I'm here to tell you how to drive in the winning run for your future in the Navy. Great training, a challenging job, travel, and some real adventure. That's the Navy lineup of opportunity. So get your high school diploma and join the Navy team.
For more information, call your Navy recruiter toll-free at 800-841-8000.
The preceding has been brought to you on behalf of Major League Baseball. I've been told that one of the hallmarks of the Cincinnati crowd was that they never left the stadium when their team was behind. Now Bill White is going to take the play.
Bounce to first base. Right there's Perez as Chambliss jumps on the first pitch, and Perez beats him with the bag. There's one away. Well, 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 9th inning. The Reds have a 5-1 lead, and this crowd, when Elliott, not too many of them leaving, as you mentioned. They're ahead, but they're staying here. They want to see what the Reds are going to do. Well, the Reds lead 5-1. 1 out, nobody on. Greg Nettles a batter.
Bill, that comes under the heading of how sweet it is.
Yes. You want to stay and enjoy it as long as you can. Bones pitch to Nettles is down low. Nettles has driven in and run with the sacrifice fly. He's also bounced into a couple of double plays. Fastball line and backhanded by Perez at first base. 2 out. Tony Perez not only having a fine day with the bat, but also with the leather. And they're 2 out.
Tony is twice blessed today by the Lord of Defense and the head man of offense.
Here's Elliott Maddox. And we're going to get Maddox called back, and Oscar Gamble will bat for him. So Gamble batting for Maddox here with 2 outs and nobody on, as Pedro Bourbon is just 1 out away. Putting the nail in the Yankees' coffin here in the first game of the 1976 World Series. Gamble bats left-handed, and he takes high and away a ball. And the 1-0 to Gamble. Swung on and fouled straight back, and that got Lee Wire, the home plate umpire, on his right arm. And it's 1-1. Well, when this game is over, you'll hear some kind of roar from the Cincinnati Reds fans. Here's a 1-1 to Gamble. Ball is high, didn't break. It's 2-1. Understand that Anderson used to take Tony Perez out for Danny Dreesen late in ball games for defensive reasons. Well, Perez is doing his job with the leather today. Popped up left side in foul territory. Pete Rose over there in the Yankee dugout, and the ball game is over. Oscar Gamble fouling out to Pete Rose. The Yankees go 3 up, 3 down in the 9th. Final score: the Cincinnati Reds win the first game of the World Series here in 1976. It's the Reds 5, the Yankees 1.
out. Time out for tires. Kelly Springfield tires. Time out for tires. Kelly Springfield tires. Time for you to check the tire prices now featured at Kelly Springfield Auto Service stores and participating dealers. It's a coast-to-coast and border-to-border event featuring radial passenger tires. Also belted 4-5 poly and snow tires in snow areas. Be smart. Take time out. Time out for tires while the selection is at its best. See the tires on display and make your best deal on quality Kelly Springfield tires for your car. There's a size and type that's right for you and your driving. Score big now. Remember, time out for tires at all Kelly Springfield Auto Service stores and participating dealers, as well as many Sunoco and other service stations. Kelly Springfield. Tires that make a world of difference.
Well, the Cincinnati Reds, before their hometown crowd here in Riverfront Stadium, got off wing, and they won the opening game of the World Series 5-1. And in the very first inning, the ubiquitous Joe Morgan, with one swing of the bat, put it into the right field stands, and that was as many runs as the New York Yankees could get in 9 full tries at the bat against the combined efforts of Don Gullett and his reliever, Pedro Bourbon. Gullett went 7 1/3 innings, seemingly twisted his left ankle, gave up the 5 hits and the only run. The Yankees could do nothing with the relief try of Bourbon, and that was the story. The Reds didn't overpower the Yankees. The Yankees didn't give them that much. It was just an inexorable kind of thing. The champions got the edge, and they maintained it. The Yankees got a run back in the second inning, as you recall, Bill, when Piniella doubled down the right field line, and a long fly in the center field put them back in the ball game and made it even. Then the Reds went out front in the third inning. Do you remember how that happened?
Well, in the third, with one out, Davey Concepcion doubled in the left center field and tripled in the left center field as that ball got past White and Rivers in the sacrifice fly by Pete Rose. Drove in Davey Concepcion. Well, as you mentioned, when Elliot, it was all Reds. You know, we sit up here and we talk, but they do a lot of little things that make them the ball club they are. If they don't hit, they can still get on base. They can steal a run here or there, as we saw them do it. They're just a good ball club. Yankee ball club, also a good ball club. But I think the Yankees are going to have to get runs. I don't think they can depend on winning a ball game 1-0 with the Cincinnati Red Ball Club. They're going to have to score runs.
Yeah, I don't think you can count on beating them 1-0. You really have to beat them. We'll be back to Riverfront Stadium in just 1 minute.